Waiting for the stream to start so I can do a sound check and make sure everything is all right. All right. Okay. My input device is probably correct. Probably. Let's find out. Oh, it still says it's waiting on Human Boy. That's not true. That's not true. Cheeria.
How do you make friends in a new city? Have the house with the basketball hoop.
Alright, whatever, ad. Go away. Cheeria. Okay. Dude, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I see my name, but I don't know if it's good. It breaks my little rat heart when people miss their sign up and they meant to be here. Jiria, yeah. Oh boy. All right. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Just saving up some replays for us to start casting. Sorry that you're feeling that way. Yeah. It's just like, I just want everybody to hop in and have a great time, you know? And then when people have issues, I'm like, oh, that's sad. I wish I could fix it, but I can't. Halvor sent me a replay. That's nice. Contrarian Codex sent me one versus Dust Bunny. Ooh, that is Dust Bunny. Yashkov versus Rikito. All right, we're already getting in some good stuff. Shirayuki sent me something. So we got to pick today's tournament favorite. And that is going to be very difficult to do. I have 4 pings in general. What the fuck? What the hell? Alright, everybody's pinging me. It's annoying. I don't like it, and I'm easily distracted. Now you, a competent gamer and a smarter person than me, is like, just don't look at it. Just don't pay attention. How many times do I have to explain to you people I'm stupid? I'm stupid. Channel news before we get into it, huh? It's 5 minutes over time. You gotta hurry up and get to the games. I'm allowing people to gather. The stream just started, and it usually doesn't show up in their YouTube feed until you hit go live. No, that's dumb. You're stupid. No. Yeah. Big news. Tomorrow, my new favorite video of all time comes out. It is a 55-minute lore rant about High Elves, and I just re-listened to it to edit it. It's good. It's good. Now, I know that's going to make the headlines. YouTuber says his own video tomorrow is good. But I hosted a quick little vote last night. I wasn't sure whether to get the drama video out, which is doing fantastically, he said sarcastically, or to get the lore video out. So I put up a poll. Just over 50% went for the drama video. Posted it. The drama is... So here's the drama. Conquest mode is replacing land battles on the quick battle ladder, and I said Conquest mode is actually different than land battles, and both are good for different reasons. And that hot, steaming drama take lost me 3 subscribers already. I checked the video analytics, and 3 people unsubscribed from my channel because I'm like, Conquest mode is good, but it's a little different from land battles, and here's why. You could do either one is fine. And like 3 people are like, nah, fuck this idiot. How dare he like things? And it made me sad. Where I'm like, God damn, this is where we're at. My take, all game modes are good for different reasons. Nah, fuck this idiot, I'm out. I never want to watch his content again. Anyway. Alright. Who do we have tonight? Who's to watch? Hayseed's pretty good. I think he'll make a good run through the tournament. McCallium's also been doing very well. He's been playing a lot too, so he's getting good quickly. I think those would be my 2 picks. Yeah, Hayseed or McCallium are probably going to win this thing. I want to root for PowerChan, because PowerChan's a legend, but they haven't played in a while, so I think they're probably going to be rusty. And then a bunch of new faces, which we love to see. We love to see new faces. So let's get into it. If you haven't watched one of these 2-player tournaments before, I do cast one of everybody's games, no matter what, no exceptions. And then I'll cast any tiebreakers we have to determine the tournament winner. So everybody gets at least one game cast, and then if there are tiebreakers, we cast those. After that, if I still have time to keep streaming, I will go back. We're going to watch Joyboy versus Nardu here. I will go back and look for any replays that look particularly interesting and cast those if we have extra time. So, guaranteed, everybody gets at least one cast, and then we'll see whoever wins the tournament, obviously. Good morning, Little Trill. Rambo saying Land Battles is dead. Oh! Okay, Rambo. Okay. Alright. How's the weather in the colonies? Good, but very rainy. We actually have a bunch of floods in the area. Contrarian Codex, what up, dude? Good luck in today's tournament. What up, Patatsky? Alright. Enough commenting on random stuff, enough catching up with chat and seeing all you wonderful people. It's time for games. Tzeentch brought a very strong air force, the Changebringers, 2 Doom Knights, and 2 Chaos Furies, plus a Chaos Lord of Tzeentch up in the sky with his halberd. Interesting to see Doom Knights and Changebringers. Don't usually see that. Plus a Mutal Vortex Beast. That is so much money. And then a Metalcaster with the Skull of Catan, nerfed, and with Searing Doom and Final Transmutation. That leaves only 4 Marauders for Tzeentch's ground force. That is a very small ground force. On the other side for Nardu and Slaanesh, a whole bunch of devoted Marauders of Slaanesh, some Spears, some not. A couple Chaos Knights, a lot of Furies, 4 of those Furies, in fact, 2 Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, and Azazel with only his Rampage. That Rampage is the worst nightmare of Changebringers. It brings this extremely squishy unit into melee, maybe even down to the ground, and it is really brutal for them to deal with, so we'll have to see Azazel get some good use out of that Rampage. Now, he does have to set it up. If you just cast a Rampage while Changebringers are, like, back here, they'll probably be okay. They might mildly charge into some Marauders, but you can bail them out easily enough, and then Azazel just wasted his time. So he has to kind of set up a bit of a trap and then cast the Rampage. But if he does so, it can be powerful. I like what Slaanesh is doing here. When your opponent has Searing Doom, you don't want to form any blobs, and the Mutal Vortex Beast has that constant Mortis Engine type effect. So instead of throwing all of your infantry to pile on top of each other and just get ganked by the Mutal Vortex Beast, Slaanesh is feeding them in one at a time to reduce that Mortis Engine effectiveness and trying to use their Skirmish Cap to good effect. However, they do get caught up in melee a bit, and they need to back off as the Doom Knights and the Lord have gotten to them, but they are not backing off, and that is a bit of a mistake here from the Slaanesh player. Looks like his attention is divided over here, though. Azazel gets in a Rampage to force the Changebringers into him, but unfortunately, as we said before, the trap wasn't set up. There was nothing for the Changebringers, but oh, that was really nice! Okay, just as I was saying the trap wasn't set up, he lands Azazel while the Changebringers are Rampage to him to drag them to the ground, but the Chaos Knights, it looks like they had attack orders on the Changebringers, but somehow just didn't attack them? And charge straight through the area, so that is very unfortunate. And then we have a Skull of Catan Final Transmutation combo coming in right now onto Azazel. So that is brutal. It was really close to being a great play for Slaanesh, but ended up just kind of being a little bit limp. Now, until that Rampage is off cooldown, the Changebringers are free to do whatever they want as Chaos Furies of Tzeentch and the Doom Knights have secured the air for them over here. We still have 2 other Furies of Slaanesh in the distance, but they're nowhere near the Changebringers right now. And the Changebringers are starting to light up Chaos Knights of Slaanesh. Azazel going to get hit with a Doom Bolt. And he's rather squishy, so that Doom Bolt should do decent damage to him. Oh, but it misses! Very lucky there for the Prince of Slaanesh. Now, unfortunately, While his micro in this area over here has been pretty good, he did leave some Furies just AFK for an awfully long time, and we have some Skirmish Cav that have not been used optimally at all. So Slaanesh, if Nardu is out there listening right now, you do have to diversify your micro rather than like super microing one engagement. You're going to need to spread that micro level a little bit, because having these like really squishy and fast factions like Slaanesh, that's why they're generally considered much harder to play, is you need to have your attention everywhere. It's not like Skaven, where Skaven aren't the easiest to play, but they are easier than Slaanesh because most of your roster doesn't matter, so you just throw them into a fight and then you micro the units that do matter. He's kind of microing the Slaanesh army like Skaven, but Slaanesh aren't Skaven. Every unit you have is important. Every unit you have is expensive. Like, we have some Chaos Knights with Lances out here doing nothing. It looks like they just chased something down, but now they need to be rejoined into the fight. So, I like his Slaanesh build, and I like his strategy, but the execution just needs a little bit of work. For Tzeentch, I mean, aerial squads versus Slaanesh have always been rather powerful, not having ground-based ranged units outside of Marauder Horsemen. Not having a very strong air force of your own for Slaanesh does make air cheese rather dangerous, though I will say, like I said, I think Nardu brought enough stuff to deal with it. It just needed to be executed a little different. I really like the play he tried to do there, where he rampaged them onto Azazel and then landed Azazel to drag them down, but the Chaos Knights weren't close enough to punish it, and then something weird was going on with their attack orders, because they like charged through the area instead of actually hitting them. Aside from that, I think the writing is on the wall. Tzeentch has a ton left on the battlefield, and Slaanesh really doesn't. They have a couple Marauders here and there that are holding on. Azazel's almost dead, and they have a full health Chaos Knight. But when all of your threat is either in the sky or a giant Mortis Engine monster, one Chaos Knight is not going to do well there. If Tzeentch just had a bunch of random infantry left, then yeah, cycle charging them to death would be an option. Quick Searing Doom is going to catch 3 units in here. As the Chaos Lord plus that Searing Doom do enough damage to push away the Marauder Horsemen. Devoted Marauders take a little bit of damage. And army losses is close, but not here just yet. Changebringer's trying to line up a shot. I think one more volley from them onto the Chaos Knights will probably trigger army losses, considering how low it is. There it is. And there's army losses. Hey, Trogdor, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. I feel like my day would be fantastic if I got some high-level Wood Elf free plays from somebody whose name started with TR. I think that would make my day, but outside of that, I don't know what anybody could do to cheer me up. The audio's desync? Hey, Trogdor, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. I feel like my day would be if I got some high-level Wood Elf free plays. Is it? I don't know. It looks fine to me. It's a little off. Oh, fuck. I don't know how to fix that. I'm practicing throwing my voice. That's a weird problem to have, and I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I could just do the old unplug and replug and see if that helps. Boop, boop. See if it helps. If it doesn't, and if it's actually bothering people, I can just go to the screen where the camera isn't. All right. Looking at it on my streaming end, it looks 1-to-1, but on YouTube it wasn't, so. Alright, Halvor versus Archangel. Dwarves Norska. And we do get to see some Dwarven Bolt Throwers. After their buffs, people have been complaining to me that they're really toxic. I've only gotten to play with them twice, and they felt really strong. I haven't played against them. So I will be curious to see how well they do in this matchup. Norska and Dwarves. Trogdor, fair. I also listen to streams when I'm at work. What is that? Do you think infantry will be even remotely viable when CA buffs anti-infantry tools because of Conquest? Yeah. You still need infantry. Infantry haven't been a good win condition in land battles for a long time, but you still see infantry in every build because you just need them for pressure. Builds without infantry are really hard to pull off. How do I explain it? If your opponent isn't under pressure from random garbage and has to put random garbage in their way, then it just becomes a DPS contest, and usually defensive units will win that. So you do just need random people to annoy your opponent and keep them honest. Put them on a bit of a timer, put them under pressure. But for the game in front of us, for Norska, we have Marauders with great weapons, a couple flanking Norskan Warhounds, Wulfric the Wanderer with only Sea Fang, and then more Marauders, Ice Trolls, Norskan Trolls, Marauder Hunters with their throwing axes, a Deathcaster with only Spirit Leech, and that is about it. No Skin Wolves, just Trolls and Boys. On the other side for the Dwarves, we do have some Thunderers. Ooh, nice Sea Fang cast. Anyway, 2 Thunderers in the back, 2 Bolt Throwers, Giant Slayers, Dragonback Slayers, a Dragon Slayer, Thoric Ironbrow, and then Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors holding a front line with 2 Gyrocopters. Ooh, no, one's a Gyro Bomber. Gyro Bomber and a Gyrocopter with a Brimstone Gun do a bit of aerial harassment onto Norska. The dogs dive in quick onto these Thunderers. Don't get much damage out because Thunderers have really high armor and pretty strong melee defense against Dwarves who can't really deal with either. And the constant fire of the Bolt Throwers plus the Gyro Bombers pushes off the first of the Norskan Ice Trolls. And it shatters, so it's already out of the game entirely. Longbeard's getting stuck in, fighting other Trolls. I love how the Trolls just casually kick at them, but now that the Dragonback Slayers are here, you should probably back the Trolls off and get them to go elsewhere. I'm liking this a lot. Seeing how much his opponent invested in his range tools, the front line is rather lacking. So if you can just walk around the front line while maintaining it with random Marauders, that's going to be great. So I like this a lot, the Trolls got back here. I would recommend doing that with all the Trolls, is just walk wherever the infantry aren't. These other Norskan Trolls tried to pull it off, but they get peeled away by the Brimstone Guns and all that. It's a little tough for those guys. Wulfric is in. He's trying to get out. Now the Giant Slayers are surrounding him, and Thoric's coming in. But one of the Bolt Throwers is already going to be offline. The other one is getting attacked by Dogs. Dogs are losing to Thunderers. Their leadership is waning, and they do get pushed away before they were able to actually shut those guys down. But the... Ooh. Marauder Hunters with their throwing axes, chucking up into the Gyro Bombers. Should be a good trade for them if their leadership can hold, but Burnt is a hell of a leadership debuff. Other throwing axes in range to shoot at Thunderers and Bolt Throwers. That's fine. I do think these guys have to pick a target. Like, these 2 throwing axes should both aim at the sky stuff. These Marauder Hunters should probably just be throwing at the Bolt Throwers. Like, focus up. Because currently they're doing a bit of damage to a lot of targets rather than a lot of damage to a couple targets. Bolt Throwers still under attack by the Trolls, but now all of their support has been whittled away, so the Giant Slayers should have a field day on the Norskan Ice Trolls to kill them off, but one Bolt Thrower is down. Dwarven frontline is starting to falter and fall apart. Dragonback Slayers and the Dragon Slayer can only be so many places at once, and Wulfric is charging around trying to get everything he can done where he can. Still has 1 Sea Fang left. Probably want to see it on this nice juicy blob up here of expensive units plus Thunderers. That would be huge. Elsewhere, the Dwarves are getting too thin for a Sea Fang to really have that much impact, but yeah, now you can see throwing axes all teaming up on the same target, almost take out the Gyro Bomber, are going to push it away with half its models remaining. And this Brimstone Gun's actually out of ammunition, just acting as a Sky Dog unit. But the Bolt Throwers that are online are currently shooting at the Shaman Sorcerer of Death, pushing him away. Unless something is done, he will go off the map. Looks like those Gyrocopters are just going to chase him off. Dogs trying to harass the Bolt Throwers. Slowly but surely. Taking them down. Norska is through. Wulfric stuck fighting the Dragon Slayer. Didn't mean to double click there. Takes a bunch of damage. Needs to path away. Has he used his final Sea Fang? He has not just yet. He's running out of good targets to do so. Does Norska even have the strength of arm left to win this? Dragonback Slayer is getting cut down. Very few models left on them. Very little HP as well. Dragon Slayer is fine. But the Spirit Leech caster getting chased off is a big tool that Norska was using to kill those single entities, and they will be gone. Up on the high ground, Giant Slayers are under half HP. Everything else for the Dwarves besides Slayer-type units or Thoric are very, very, very low. Almost beyond the point of repair. Wolfric again gets attacked by the Dragon Slayer. He doesn't have Hunter of Champions or any form of debuffs to really take this duel, so he does need to back off. And you see he quickly gets orders to leave. A little slow on the uptake, but he does get away. The Dragon Slayer's trying to get after him, but won't be able to as Dragonback Slayers continue to get cut down by throwing axes. Norskan Ice Trolls keep routing off the ranged units while getting shot in the face by these Thunderers. Thankfully for them, they can keep regenerating up as long as the game keeps going on. And a Sea Fang down the line of the Giant Slayers? No, that's a Rune of Doom. Do you still have a Sea Fang? No. Sea Fang's gone. It must have been used somewhere. Dwarves barely up on balance of power. So the Gyro Bombers returned a little bit extra ammunition to use. Gyrocopters still chasing. Still chasing that Spirit Lich Caster away. Jeremy with the $10. Thank you, sir. Hope you are doing well. Hope all your animals are doing well as well. Giant Slayers rolling around with Thoric. What can Norska do? The Bomber have 9 volleys left, as they're currently trying to snipe out Wolfric a little bit. Throwing Axes doing their best to harm the Slayers, who are now chasing down Marauder Hunters. And those Marauder Hunters ain't getting away. The Dragonback Slayers do apply a little bit of a slow debuff, but also the Dragon Slayers just faster than them outright. Norse controls are in. Giant Slayers will beat them 1-1, but again, as we have said several times, the Trolls can back off and regenerate and stuff, but also it is the units you have. Sometimes you just gotta throw what you got into the fight. Norska is running out of gas pretty badly. Wolfric routes again, but the Throwing Axe is trying to save him. Gyro Bombers down to less than 500 HP, 2 models out of 4. And they'll rout for the second time, it appears, which will allow Wolfric to get away, and he should rally. Wow, they even shattered. That is brutal, but speaking of shattering, army losses will take care of Norska. And it was close. But too many Slayers left. I'm ride or die for John Tester. You'd have to restart the stream, don't worry about it. That's awkward. Yeah, that would be bad. For Halvor, Wolfric did alright. Norska could be so much better in so many matchups if they just got a generic Mage Lord. Because if you have to take Throg or Wolfric, especially versus something like Dwarves, it's going to be brutal. Oh, there was a Famir. I didn't even know there was a Famir. It just looked like trolls to me. For Archangel, his 2 heroes did fine. Dragonback Slayers, Giant Slayer. Ooh, look at that Giant Slayer value. 2,500. Thunderers did okay. Gyrocopters did okay. Bolt Throwers did okay. GG's. And I have 8 replays being sent to me. What the hell? What is this? Oh, there's a bunch of messages. Why? Game dropped at the end, so we redo the match. Probably not. Just whoever was closest to winning. If it was close, then replay. Someone messaged me about a replay that dropped. And I missed it, because I'm streaming. Saving more replays to cast for the people so they don't get mad at me. Cause I didn't do anything wrong and you can't prove it. You can't prove it. You can't prove shit! All right. Sorry, messaging a player about issues they're having with the thingy. Contrarian's Codex versus Glorious Dust Bunny Armada. We get some more Norska, which is weird. We haven't had Norska in a long time, and now people are spamming Norska. I'm betting Dust Bunny wants to try out double mammoths and buffed Famir, which is allowed, I suppose. Contrarian's Codex, what's going on with your build? Hey. What the fuck am I looking at, buddy? Oh my god. 5 deck gunners, one of which is the Shade Wraith gunners. And then 3 hand cannons? 4 hand cannons, a bunch of crabs, including the Vampir's Revenge, buffed front line, and then Celostra on foot with just Vangeists and Denizens of the Deep. Okay. Okay, that's wildin'. On the other side, we do have Norska, as promised. It's a contrarian build. We have Marauders, some Marauder Horsemen, Wulfric the Wanderer with Sea Fang, and then Sword of Torgald, and Hunter of Champions, Skimwolf Werekin, Firecaster, Famir version, Burning Head, and Cascading Firecloak. And then more Marauders, some Famir, and the War Shrine Mammoth that gives you physical resistance that stacks. Anyway, lots of shooting coming in, but this Vampire Coast build is going to crumble like paper on contact, so Norska just has to put every effort into getting into melee with these guys as fast as possible. And for the love of God, use Burning Head on the coast front line, not their back line. Because there's too many ranged units for you to use Burning Head and kill them all off or anything. Just use Burning Head to kill their extremely limited front line. That was a really good Seafang. Anyway, just use Burning Head to kill their extremely limited front line, and then your infantry could just walk at the ranged units and kill them off. Uh-oh. Burning Head went through the deck gunners. It doesn't kill any models, but then a beautiful curve through a moving hand cannon does a lot of work, so that was good. It ended up working out. Skilled Flarekin's trying to fight Celostra and losing pretty badly. The Damn Knight's Errant Summon is out, and it's going to run around and do some stuff. Though I have noticed the Damn Knight's Errant feel like they do a lot less damage than normal cavalry would do in a lot of situations. So we'll see how much that even really matters. War Shrine Mammoth is currently getting lit up by Shade Wraith gunners and these other deck gunners. And I would assume shotguns are somewhere in the mix doing their best. But Norska can't handle all this firepower. Already a Famir, with all their missile resistance, still getting pushed away. Wulfric and the Skin Flarekin surrounded. War Shrine Mammoth. Oh, War Shrine Mammoth. You got buffed, but you're still bad. Deck gunners just eat them alive. Norse goes way down in the balance of power. I would tend to agree. Taking a lot of damage. Celostra does have multiple summons out on the field. Once those fade away, it will get a little bit better for our friends Norska, but still, I mean, they lost their very expensive Mammoth. And a Vangeist Revenge is coming in for the Marauders now. They don't stand a chance. It is Ogre! Oh, no! Deleted. Take that, Marauders. Another Burning Head through the deck gunners. Not going to do too much damage. They're just far too spaced out with too few models to really get anything done there. And that is that. Flatter just beat High Elves. They seem a bit weak this patch. Flatter, how dare you? You're a liar. At this point, it's all over but the crying, as the deck gunners just need to turn and deal with these rather healthy skirmish cav who are running in. One of them's gone, the other one's going to be gone soon. There they go. And then army losses will be upon us in mere moments. Speaking of mere, there's a Famir. Another Sea Fang through the hand cannons mob, and it pokes the deck gunners a little bit, but an awful lot of spells being used on these range units, and they're all just chilling. They're fine. Apparently guns beat Vikings? Yes. Yes, they do. Man, Norska, you don't get played for multiple weeks in a row and people call for you to come back, and then we watch you go 0-2. You love the one Marauder that survived the van guys saying that's all you got. Yeah, a giant ghost ship shows up, kills all of his bros, and he's like, not me, though! Keeps charging. Wulfric being full HP is the only thing that the balance of power cares about. Maybe a crab summon will change its mind. It's like, oh, there's one more crab on the field? Never mind, this is unwinnable. Army lost him. Another burning head through the deck gunners. It does decent damage, but not enough. What would you bring as Norska versus that? Alright. I mean, Dust Bunny is a resident memer and a dreamer. Very quickly... Fuck. I just went into the exact same folder. No, stop it. No! Very quickly, what I was take is Norska versus Vampire Coast. Unfortunately, you gotta take Wulfric, but I would just put him on foot and just bring Seafang. And then I would take a Shaman Sorcerer of Death... a Shaman Sorcerer with Burning Head. And... that is it. Cut everything else about him. Keep Kindle Flame and Burning Head. That's all. It's just a lot cheaper, because look at that. 525 for that versus the Famir. Famir of Fire with Burning Head and Kindle Flame is 300 more gold more expensive, which is almost a full Marauder. So I just go with the Shaman Sorcerer. It's fine. I think he wanted the Armor Sundering to deal with the crabs, but whatever. Other than that, Marauders, Berserkers, including the Brutes of the Hound, because they're unbreakable. So you have that covered. Get some Marauders, Javelins. You might just want throwing axes. Cole you're really worried about his crabs anyway. Famir was fine. And then 2 Skirmish Cav is fine. But you could also do a Skirmish Cav and a Norsean Ice Wolf or something. So I take something more like that. Mammoths are unfortunately just a waste. The only other thing I want to mention is... Versock sending us in a replay. Contrarian sending in a replay. After we just watched him. I won't spend too long on this because there's a lot of games to get through. But just because you asked, and it's kind of a common thing. So watch what happens here, because it is a mistake. So the problem with doing this type of build as the Undead is you have this covered, but your backline's completely open. But this happens a lot, and you need to... So when you buy Skirmish Cavalry, a mistake is when people treat them as archers on horses. Almost no Skirmish Cavalry in this whole game is archers on horses. It's not a thing. Like, they still have decent melee stats. They still do a lot of damage on impact because they're large. And also, most Marauder Horsemen aren't going to be as good melee combatants as, like... you know, Glade Riders or something that is a light melee cav. But what you're paying for with Skirmish Cav is not just archers on horses. You're getting a hybrid unit, and it gives you decisions. And the decisions are, it's a checkbox. Am I being shot at? If yes, back up or dodge or something like that. If you're not being shot at, you move in and attack. But also what you can do, that's those 2 checkboxes are like what a lot of people do. And he's doing it right here, where he's like, I'm not being shot at, I can shoot for free. Cool. But also, you can just use them as a dog unit and just go around the backline. Like, look at all this open space where the Marauder Horsemen could be running around and go into melee. And that's like something I see a lot in new player tournaments especially, is just using them as mounted archers, which is like half of their function. But you're only getting half of your value out of this unit, where they do need to be running around the sides and harassing this backline because there's nothing there. Now, if it's a box with a bunch of halberds sitting around and you don't want to go in there, yeah, sure, then you just use them as mounted archers, and those halberds aren't doing anything. But you kind of need to, like, read the situation and use them either as melee cav or ranged cav. And through this whole game, I just saw the skirmish cav being used as ranged cav. Now he jumps in. It's a little too late, but I still really think you need to get back to all these deck gunners and all this free value back here. But the Marauder Horsemen have a tough time. Now they try to do it, but the game is already lost at this point. So that's just a thing. Is like, I would change the build a bit. As you saw, I had a very different build for this, but also I do think that the Skirmish Cav just played too far back, played too safe when time was not on his side. 2 Marauder Horsemen are never going to equal in value 5 deck gunners and 4 fucking shotgun boys. So they needed to abuse the melee disadvantage the Vampire Coast had in that matchup, rather than try and participate in the ranged fight at all. Like, the ranged fight is lost. Abandon it. Everything you have needs to get into melee immediately. With how wildly one-sided this build was, where it's like, all ranged, nothing else. Dust Bunny had to find a way to get all of that ranged into melee. But we're moving on. We're moving on. What are we doing? Yashkov on my beloved Skaven versus Rakito's Vampire Counts. Contrarian Codex with the €6. Thanks for organizing these tournaments, and the laughs, my friend. Always fun to participate. Hell yeah, Contrarian, and good win. We spent like half an hour on your win. Nothing can stop the Mammoth. Yeah, the Mammoth needed to not stop at the front line. It just needed to go for the back line, but it was having a tough time because it is one giant target versus 9 guns. The Mammoth was just outclassed. For Yashkov versus Retkito, we have buffed Skaven, Plague Monks, and Storm Vermin holding down the front line with Skaven Slaves and Clan Rats in the back. Lots of Skaven Slaves. We have Nadubo Sharpshooters, Avalanche Mortars, 2 Poison Wind Globes, a Chieftain on foot, with just Skaven Brew, and then a Shield of Distraction and Power Grab. We do have Ikeclaw on his Doom Wheel, Scorch, and Howling Warp Gale. Interesting. My immediate thoughts about the Skaven build is it'll kill everything except for the single entities, and then it'll lose to the single entities, because your single entity killing power is literally just the Natty Boobos. Nothing else kills single entities here. Oh, he has a Triad. Okay, 1 Triad, but it's still not going to be enough. I think all of these zombies are giga-fucked, but after that, the Skaven are going to suffer a very slow and painful death. We'll see. I could be wrong. For Rakito and Manfred von Karstein, Spirit Leech, Doom and Darkness, Gaze and Gash, Raise Dead, and Invocation and Heck. That's a lot of spells, but I get why he took them. They're really good versus Skaven. His first Gaze and Gash cast was a bit of a whoopsie onto the Avalanche Mortars. It just didn't do as much damage as he hoped. Gaze and Gash should only be used on Ikit Claw or on Warp Lightning Cannons, but I appreciate the hustle. Howling Warp Gale is down onto Manfred. And now the Jezzails are going to fire at him, get a little bit of poke down. Meanwhile, the Vampire Counts move up. They brought Zombies, Skeleton Warriors, 2 Corpse Carts with Unholy Lodestones for some healing, then Fellbats and Vargeist up in the sky with a bunch of Crypt Horrors on the ground. Pretty solid Vampire Counts build into Skaven. I like it a lot, especially the Manfred choice. I was getting a handle on this matchup a couple patches ago, and I was starting to feel good about it, and then people switched from taking the Blood Dragon Lord to taking Manfred, and all of a sudden I lost it all the time. He's really good versus Skaven. Oh, there's also a Dire Pack sneaking around. Fellbats, Skeleton Warriors, and Vargeist all diving into the back line. Before the front line even gets here, the Crypt Horrors waiting for their turn just as the zombies get here, but the flying forces of the Vampire Counts want to shut down some of these units. Before the front lines get into range with the basic globes, they can save a little bit of damage value. I think it was good timing. You don't want to go too early, but you also don't want to go too late. This was really good. Good timing for the Vampire Counts to jump in. Avalanche Mortar's taking a lot of damage, and Manfred gets up into the sky, leaving the Vargeist to clean up those Poison Globes he already damaged for them. Elsewhere, Fellbats are peeled. Poison Globes safe and sound now, and they start to throw at the Skeleton Warriors. Doing good damage here and there, but the Vargeists are going completely uncontested in the skies right now. Natty Boobo is getting pushed off. For some reason, we are dropping frames here and there. Glorious Dust Bunny saying he's just lazy today. Never be lazy. Never! Scorch through the front line, killing off more zombies, more Skeleton Warriors, and the Plague Monks and Storm Vermin should be fine to hold this front line almost forever. The Vampire Counts never bring that good of a front line versus Skaven, so Storm Vermin will be just fine. But the problem isn't the infantry of the Vampire Counts, it's the Vargeist, it's Manfred, it's the Crypt Horrors, things like that. Anyway, another Howling Warp Gale. And this is, again, not to just be too harsh, but Skaven are my favorite factions. When I see something, I just really want to talk about it. This is my biggest pet peeve, is when people take Howling Warp Gale and just throw it out to net stuff, but there's no point to it. Like, oh, I netted you for a couple seconds, and it's like, are there Rattling Gunners? Are there Zales? Are there Globes? How are we punishing this? Is there a Flensing Ruin? Like, what did the net accomplish? And usually it is just stuff like that, where you net them for a couple seconds, and then they get to dive down anyway, and it just bothers me. Ikit got overextended. Now he's trapped in Crypt Horrors and getting sniped out by Manfred. He's trying his best to move, but Ikit can't get through that mass. And if the player had perfect knowledge, he could know that he could come this way and get out, but it is really hard to tell where they are without zooming in, and he's got a whole battle to run. So I don't blame him for that, but Ikit does still get trapped in monsters pretty easily, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, I'm just saying is a thing. So the Crypt Horrors, once they got us around on him, unfortunately, that rat in his hamster wheel was doomed. The Storm Vermin and Plague Monk frontline is holding fantastically, especially because of the Storm Vermin buffs that they got. I do think that is good in this matchup, and I think Yashkov had a lot of cool and exciting things that do make this matchup more playable. I had a couple issues with it, but we are largely seeing what we talked about at the very start. The Vampire Count's infantry took a lot of damage, but their Crypt Horrors, their Vargeists, and Manfred are all completely free to run the map, and the Vampire Counts don't care about their infantry for this matchup, so if you kill them, they're kind of like a big shrug. Oh! Beautiful breath attack onto those Eshin Triads, taking them from 100 to almost dead. They rout, and the Chieftain's power grab is the only thing keeping the Skaven in this fight. Strength in numbers, encouraged by nearby unit. Wait, what? Is this power grab procced? Enabled if the Lord has died or routed. Oh, Ikit's not actually off the map yet. The Skaven haven't even taken a leadership debuff. That's shocking, as Manfred's just going to dive in and punt the Chieftain. Yeah, GG. This game build needed more single entity and large killing powers. I like the Storm Vermin. I like the Storm Vermin a lot. Avalanche Mortars. Sails. Okay. Rakito, Manfred got 2,200 value. None of his infantry got any value because Yashkov just deleted them on the advance, or they barely got there. Crypt Horrors and Vargeist did well. So GG. Vampires kind of stomped. Yeah. Was a perfect breath attack. I mean, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this for every single game. But just because it's a topic I care about and people seem interested. If you're not interested, yell at me. Tell me not to do that. But let's just... I just want to take his exact build and then make a couple tweaks. Rather than tell you what I would take, I'm just going to alter it. Alright, so he had Chieftain, those three. He had a Plague Monk, 2 Storm Vermin. I know he had a Triad. I know he had 2 Globes. I know he had these 2 RORs. Where else are we at? I don't think he had any Rat Ogres. So at this point, I think it was just Slaves and Lads. Something like that. I know I'm probably missing something, but it's not the point, right? We're just getting through what I would change about it. So for now, I'll just put these. Let's just pretend this was the full build. So what we need is more single entity sniping. I'd probably cut Howling Warp Gale and Scorch and just go with Flensing Ruin. Flensing Ruin has been broken for so long that he just needs to abuse it. And then after that, you can cut Musk of Fear, because having one expensive spell, you're not going to spam Musk of Fear, so it's not worth taking. Otherwise, this Ikit is fine. I personally don't take Storm Demon, but he seems to like it, so I'll do that. Chieftain, my biggest problem with the concept of the Chieftain is that Power Grab is betting on your Lord dying, and if your Lord dying, you're usually going to lose the game anyway, so I'd probably just cut the Chieftain, because you're betting on failure, which isn't a great way to do this. I don't think you need the Avalanche Porters, because you're bringing Storm Vermin and Plague Monks, so you're already going to kill their frontline with that, and Ikit's Brass Orb, and with Globes. You've got a ton of frontline killing potential, you don't need a 1,500 gold Avalanche Mortar. So we got Ikit to do more damage to single entities. We got rid of the Avalanche Mortars that kills off more chaff, and we saved a bunch of money. Now what to do with that money? We had problems with Flyers, and we had problems with Monstrous Infantry, and both are actually dealt with by buffed Gutter Runners, so I could go 2 Gutter Runners, 2 Night Runners, and since I have the extra money, I could get the Poison variants. And then with these guys just running around, now this is a big thing. Keep them near your army. Don't just run them off in the middle of a field. Like, keep them near your army, because then those Vargeists, whenever... Actually, no. If you have the Night Runners and Gutter Runners, it is actually viable to go with the Howling Warp Gale instead of Flensing Ruin. because then whenever you Howling Warp Gale them, you can have your Gun Runners and Night Runners punish them. I wouldn't, but that's just how I like to play. But that is viable. Like, you could do Howling Warp Gale, but it'd still go Flensing Rune. So you have these guys help you deal with flyers, help you deal with Crypt Horrors, help you deal with large targets, and then with the extra money, I'd probably cut Skaven Slaves. I think he had a lot of infantry, but I don't think he needed that many infantry. How do I get another Plague Monk? 200 more gold. Okay, cut a Clan Rat. Get 2 Skaven Slaves. So to stick with, like, Yashkov's intended build, I'd probably go with this. Ikit, more single target damage. Night Runners and Gutter Runners, more single target / flying damage. And then a slightly better front line. Because he was mulching through those zombies. His front line wasn't going anywhere, so I don't think he needs the Avalanche Mortars to deal with zombies. I think he's got the infantry quality to do that. I think 1 Triad is fine. A beautiful Breath Attack from Manfred took them out, but, like, you know, they're good. Armor-piercing halberds, if Manfred ever lands. Another thing he could do, if he really wants Howling Warp Gale, to keep Manfred on the ground if Manfred ever lands. I would go Howling Warp Gale, but instead of Scorch, I'd go with Warp Lightning. Warp Lightning just does more damage than Scorch for less Winds of Magic. So I do that. Then he could get his Musk of Fear back. It is a bit more gold, but cut 1 Skaven Slave of Spears and you have your old kit back. It's fine. Alrighty. What are we doing here? Shiriaki versus Hayseed. You went way too deep on that deep dive. No one cares about Skaven. I care about Skaven. I had fun. Holy shit, we're off to the races. Game started and they just fucking flew. Shiriaki versus Hayseed. Hayseed is the resident memer. Everybody loves Hayseed. Everybody loves Hayseed. And then Shiriaki's like, hold my fucking beer, as Shiriaki's gonna grab double War Hydra to contest for the title of memer hero. Hayseed's normally out here taking Colex on Eater in 2024. Today's got Scarbrand. Dark Elves versus Khorne. We have 2 War Hydras, one of which is the Chill of Sontar. The Sirenwood Ruin, nerfed Bloodrack Medusa. And we have a Deathcaster in the sky with Fate of Buna and Spirit Leech. Front line of Bleak Swords, backed up by some Dark Shards and Dread Spears. And then we have a couple Dark Riders for some safety. The other side for Khorne, Scarbrand, Minotaurs, Marauders with dual weapons, 1 Exalted Bloodletter, and some Chaos Warhounds of Khorne, some in the Vanguard as well. Very straightforward little build here. Wesley Bravo, I don't care what they say about you. You're my favorite streamer. Thanks, buddy. Hell Pit Abomination? It'd be fine. I was trying to alter his build as little as possible, but yeah. There's actually... Skaven versus Vampire Counts is a really interesting matchup right now with a lot of different ways Skaven can try and play it after the buffs that I'm really interested in trying it out. So when people pick Vampire Counts, I'm like, ooh, I want to pick Skaven so I can try this. I have a lot of cool ideas, but I just wanted to take Yashkov's build and just slightly alter it, rather than, here's what I would take whatever I take, because I think the matchup is wide open right now. But we can't keep focusing on the last matchup, we gotta get to this one! Dark Elf frontline is in combat. Exalted Bloodletter is going to make their way through the Bleak Swords very quickly, though the Dark Shards are making them pay every inch for it. Scarbrand's in here. Does he have his AoE Rampage? Yeah, there it is. Now he can drag the Sorcerers of Death down to the ground, but it looks like he's actually in for a bad time as he's surrounded by 3 single entities and getting his ass handed to him. In come the Minotaurs to try and save him as Dark Shards are shooting in, but holy crap! Scarbrand's getting murdered! He's having a terrible time! He tries to fight his way free as the Dark Shards continue to harass him, but in come the Chaos Warhounds to stop a little bit of that damage. This War Hydra is trying to hold the front line, and in comes Murderous Prowess and Murderous Mastery to keep the Dark Elves in the fight for a little bit longer with those extra stats, but it looks like it's all falling apart here. The only hope left for the Dark Elves already in this 2-minute game is to get the Chill of Sontar to somehow kill Scarbrand and then use the leadership debuff to tear out away most of Khorne and buy yourself a little bit of time, because Khorne in the melee is doing so much better after several rounds of buffs that he desperately needed. The Dark Elves are going to have a tough time. In comes a big burst of healing for the Chill of Sontar, that Hydra blood in it getting it nice and healthy, but just as it was healthy, this thing lost 4,000 HP in the blink of an eye, and Skarbrand comes over to finish it off like, yeah! Chops it in the back of the head as the Minotaurs are like, boss, we did all the work, and Skarbrand's like, fuck you, I did this! Me! I'm great! Chops down the Chill of Sontar. Now the other Hydra is coming over, maybe gonna try and avenge its Chilly Billy buddy with its fire breaths instead. Doesn't look like that'll be the case. Bounce power is even-ish, slightly Khorne favored, but looking at the battlefield, I'd say very Khorne favored. I guess the Siren Ruin's full ammunition and over half HP is what's helping a lot, but she can't do shit against Minotaurs anymore after the nerfs. Like, look at that. That did no damage to the Minos. So seeing 3 healthy-ish Minotaurs and then Skarbrand running around, I don't see anything the Dark Elves have left that can take that out. So this late game is just going to come down to Skarbrand and Minotaurs doing this to the entire Dark Elf army. Hydra pops off a giant heal, and it's not going to matter, as he's already back down to the HP he had before he healed. Oh my god, he's getting fucking murdered! Oh! You know what's funny? Skarbrand hasn't hit this Hydra yet. You know how I know that? Is because it's not on fire. He missed, like, every attack. Still has 2,000 value. Scott MC becoming a Warp Fire Thrower. Thank you, sir. If for $7.99 more a minute, you can upgrade to a Poison Wind Globadier and get videos early. I actually don't know how much more it is, but just saying, that's the thing. Skarbrand throws out a Rampage, bringing the Sorceress down to ground level. She still throws out a Spirit Leech while Rampage, but he has popped all of his buffs. Wrathful Reaper's up to 1.1k weapon strength, but he's walking around in circles instead of swinging. Swing, you stupid dual axe, bitch! Swing! Do something with your life, you pathetic bastard! There, he swings and takes out a third of her HP in one hit. Another hit, and she's gonna die as she's surrounded by these Minotaurs too. And if Skarbrand had impressive damage value, I have to imagine the Minotaurs are swimming in it. Oh, 685, making me look like an idiot. Oh, 695, making me look like an asshole. Okay, so the Minotaurs didn't do everything. Everything was Skarbrand. I guess I'm just stupid. Go, Skarbrand, go. Chill of Sontar is back, up on a hill, healing away. Used his breath attacks briefly, but the Siren Red Ruin ain't going nowhere. She gets bullied and beat up and tipped over, and Skarbrand's here. Skarbrand walks up, knocks her over, and walks away like a jerk. Then he throws in his axe, misses another shot, and I don't know where he's getting all this value from, because as long as I've been watching him, he's been doing pretty whatever damage. Runs into the Dark Riders who are here, tries to chop them down, gets a big ol' swing. And Skarbrand does, in fact, become big spookers. Spirit Leech plus the Medusa might take him out, but it is far too late for that to matter, as the Dark Shard's about to get run down by some Warhounds. Can they at least kill Skarbrand on the way out with a Spirit Leech and a volley? His leadership dips below. Demon gets the ability, crumbling. Oh my god, he's gonna fucking die. -5 leadership. +9, +9. He rallies at 55 HP. Demonic leadership buffs. Let's go. Skarbrand just needs to get to safety. Skarbrand just needs to stay safe as the Dark Shards run off by the dogs. Everybody's keeping him safe. And the Dark Elf caster lady is coming nearby. Does she have another Spirit Leech to just instantly kill? Oh god, he just dies for no reason. His leadership just suddenly dips and he's like, I'm out. Where do we send replays? DM me directly if it's related to this tournament. If it's not this tournament, there is a channel in my Discord called Replays for Casting, and then any caster that hangs out around our channel can pull from there. So you might show up on my channel, you might show up with Tequila Sunset, Tactical Lich, Dov Plays, Indie Pride, any of them. Shirayuki coming in here to defend the double Hydra build. Is he still talking about the incident? Tactical Lich will never forgive me for the incident. That was a very funny game. Dude, I don't like to pick favorites. And the people I don't talk about are gonna be like, bro, what the fuck? But too bad. I love watching Hayseed's games, man. He's so funny. Hey, there are the Minotaur values. I swear I hovered over them in game and they were nothing. And now they get 2,000, 1,500. Anyway, I don't know why all of Hayseed's games are bangers. They are. I just cast one for the channel. And spoilers, but his Kolek Sun Eater gets over 5,000 value and it's a close game. And you're like, what? What am I watching? Hayseed's just this fucking content machine where he's like, oh, you want a good game? I'll show you a good fucking game. Oh, I love it. Sun Mangoon versus Archangel. Didn't we already cast Archangel today? I think we did. I'm looking for any other Sun Mangoon games. It doesn't look like I have one, so I'll cast it quick, sure. Sun Mangoon. Sun Mangoon versus Archangel. As I save up more replays from the Joyous Boy. Joy Boy's playing this tournament. Hayseed versus Tapat. Alright, someone has a tournament thing for me. I misclicked defeat instead of win against Archangel. Let me take a look. Okay. Delp up. Got it. Noted. Beppo! Beppo sending us some Skaven replays. Thank you, Beppo. Let's fucking go. As I get through some stuff. Alright, most people are in round 4 out of 4 already, so only an hour and a half into this tournament, and people are nearing completion. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. How do you feel about allowing campaign-exclusive units into multiplayer? Unfortunately, it doesn't work because some of the campaign-exclusive units are just, like, literally game-breaking. And Lich, I think they're just giving you issues. Are they a lot more viable with the recent patches? Yeah. Wood Elves got some good buffs. Yeah, Wood Elves got some good buffs. I also think that people just like them. So, if it's not like they're strong, they're just viable, and then them being viable, people are like, hell yeah, let's spam them. You did cast Archangel playing Dwarves. Alright, but I didn't get to cast Sun Mangoon. So, for Sun Mangoon and his Tomb Kings, we have Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Spearmen on the front lines, Sprockle Stalkers, and Ushabti. Some Ushabti Great Bows, including the Chosen of the Gods. Arkan the Black. Haven't seen Arkan in a long time. People have been playing a lot of Katep and Settra after the big kitty buffs. Setra's actually been feeling quite good. I still think, purely competitively, Arkan is still better than Settra. But the kitty cat buffs helped a lot. It's just Death Magic is so good compared to the lore of Nehekara. And Arkan has summons, and Arkan is tanky, and Arkan is cheap. While Settra is very expensive and a better melee combatant, I still think Arkan is just the competitive pick. But I like to see everybody once in a while. For Tzeentch, we have Centaurs of Tzeentch on the flanks, Chaos Furies of Tzeentch as well, Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch, and we do have a nerfed Soul Grinder and a front line of only Halberds. So the Marauders have been kicked to the curb, and instead we just have Chaos Warriors with Halberds, Sprockle Stalkers, and melee Ushabti trying to peel the Chaos Furies of Tzeentch off. Chaos Furies got several buffs over the last couple patches, but Chaos Furies of Tzeentch are not Chaos Furies of Slaanesh. They don't have armor piercing. They're not Chaos Furies of Khorne. They don't have high weapon strength. So against the Sprockle Stalkers, high armor, they're just not going to get much done, and they do get picked off pretty easily. Over here, the Centaurs of Tzeentch layering their armor piercing as the Furies are behind them. Now, this is much better. The Centaurs of Tzeentch can actually make contact with the Sprockle Stalkers, and they're getting really good damage in onto those snakes, so that's a great engagement for Tzeentch. Over here, it's not going as well. A big Fate of Buna from Arkan the Black to get rid of these Centaurs once and for all and push them away. Meanwhile, Blue Fire pokes down the Chosen of the Gods a little bit more. Soul Grinder is back, but what can he do? Pretty much the Soul Grinder is now mostly just a single entity sniping thing. I wonder how they'll do versus the Chosen of the Gods. Okay damage, but not amazing. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord's going to have to dive in and deal with it himself, but that does put him in danger of sneaky snake attacks. Currently getting sprayed, though the Friendly Fire taking out the Chosen of the Gods as well. Tzeentch Sorcerer will still want to get out of here, and Tzeentch is having a rough time versus the buffed up Tomb Kings. Ushabti were buffed, melee Ushabti were, Skeleton Archers were buffed, and we're seeing both those in this build here. Tomb King's just getting a little bit more cost effective here and there. This Chaos Sorcerer tries to get away. Shrieking Sky Rays dive down. Really good Lamprey's Bite down the side of those Skeleton Archers does a lot of damage. The Soul Grinder nerfs of Tzeentch, we are feeling it, Mr. Krabs. 900 value for him as he's been shooting at the Chosen of the Gods, now shooting at Sprockle Stalkers. He's still doing all right, but he's just not the, like, almighty carry the whole matchup potentially used to be. Can't kill infantry as well anymore, can't kill cavalry as well anymore as he used to. Tzeentch is trying to get some Centaurs back in, and they are going to charge melee Ushapti, which is a great target for them, especially like that, where they get a free charge. The melee Ushapti didn't see them coming through those trees. They didn't get counter orders. Look at that damage from these wounded Centaurs of Tzeentch. Really good pick for them. I just don't know what Tzeentch is going to do for the rest. Ushapti Summon is out to harass the Soul Grinder a little bit. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch is flying around in circles. Still has that disc bug that's been there since Warhammer 3 launched, is if you try to cast a spell with a disc caster, there's a small chance you just start circling around infinitely for no reason. You need to give him new movement orders and then cast the spell, usually to break it, but he eventually gets the spell out. Hits some Ushapti in the back of the head, gets some decent damage. We still have 2 Halberds trying to grind it away, but if Arkan has another Fate of Yuna left, he can throw it on the healthier of the 2, and then this game will probably be over. Centaurs are shattering in the back line. It looks like they took out an entire Ushapti for their efforts. I don't see this guy rallying. He'll probably just crumble to death. But yeah. Tzeentch kiting around with the Soul Grinder. They still have their Lord. They still have their Soul Grinder with some ammunition left. They still have 1 Centaur of Tzeentch, so they're not out of it. It's just looking bleak. Really nice pink fire down the line. Even hits the Skeleton Archers. It makes it easier for the Centaurs to try and clean these guys up. The melee Ushapti from before is still crumbling like we saw. Bolta changes out onto the Eyes of the Desert, and Tzeentch is doing really everything to stay in this game, as the Soul Grinder even gets a side shot down these guys. It's just not enough. It's just not enough! Arkan's about to route these Chaos Swords with Halberds. If he has a Doom and Darkness, he could route them, but then they route naturally anyway. The Centaurs are pushed away, leaving the Chaos Sorcerer Lord all alone, so he decides to get back up into this guy and get back to safety. Sprockle Stalker's teaming up on the Soul Grinder as he stands his ground and tries to fight back a little bit. He's going to lose his barriers. But he's just one man. He just has one plan. One opportunity. Will you something in this moment? Or will you capture it? His palms are sweaty. Tzeentch beaks cold and slimy. Mom spaghetti. Rap God. Anyway. Chaos Spawn land on top of Sprockle Stalkers, who are already very, very low. Should be able to do enough damage to seal their fate. Like, even if they don't outright kill them, they should get low enough that they'll just die to crumbling. Soul Grinder only has 2 shots left. Arkan is fighting the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch, who's trying to get away from the Skeleton Spirit. It looks like he is just going to hold his ground and fight Arkan amongst his own Chaos Spawn. It's a good, desperate attempt. Like, this is probably one of the better situations he's going to get while he still has the Summon on the ground. The Soul Grinder finishes off one of the Stalkers. The other one is crumbling as it runs away. The Soul Grinder needs to get in here right now. Sniping out Arkan is probably the best chance Tzeentch has of turning this game around. As we can see, the Tomb Kings won the lower ground fight, and they are now bringing all of their forces to bear. Your only hope is to snipe Arkan quick here and hope that just does enough for you. If Arkan dies, then these skeletons will probably fade away on their own, and maybe you can go get the Ushapti Great Bows and win this game with a couple pink fires. It really depends on how much Winds of Magic Tzeentch has left in the tank. Arkan's down to half HP. He probably has a Skeleton Summon. Hey, just as I say it, he has a Skeleton Summon to buy himself a little bit of time. Big pink fire. Overcast does a lot of damage to the Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch, which is unfortunate, but he deletes about half of the Skeleton Spearman unit with that attack. The Chaos Spawn are about to fade away, however, which without them, Arkan should be able to much more easily escape this area. He's been trapped in spawn bodies for quite a while. Finally finds a path out, gets to safety, and with that, I have to say Tzeentch is out of this game. There is no hope. Without Arkan dead, now you just have a whole bunch of chaff to deal with. Ushapti are going to be poking in from time to time, and Arkan is just sitting here with a Doom and Darkness. As soon as your leadership gets low like that, he needs to cast Doom and Darkness on this guy and just make sure he gets off the map. Just like that! Perfect stuff from Arkan! Beautiful work! Well done to the Tomb Kings player! Sunman Goon! I believe. If someone's going to say Sunman Goon is the Tzeentch player, I'm going to look like a fucking fool. But that was literally perfect from for how to deal with that situation. I loved it, because now the Sorcerer Lord of Tzeentch is running away. He can't dodge. He has no one blocking for him because he's routing. So then the Ushopti get a couple free shots onto him. The free shot should do some damage, maybe kill him, but also just keep him routing, get him off the map. The Ushopti kill him, and then army losses is going to hit because the leadership on these Chaos Warriors falls too far, and then they'll run away, leaving just Soul Grinder. Then army losses will hit, and you win the whole game because you played it so fucking well. Because you played it so fucking well. And speaking of playing it so fucking well, did I literally predict what 5 things would happen in a row? In a row! Just saying, I might be the greatest of all time. I might be. I'm not going to say it, because that would be narcissistic, that would be prideful, and uncouth of me. But someone's got to say it, so it might as well be me. I am the GOAT. I am. I am. I really am. Thank you, me. No problem, me. You're handsome, me. Let's calm down a bit, me. Has anyone tried combining Nurgle cultists with Soul Blight? I have not seen. I need that t-shirt. This is actually one of my favorite shirts. Grace got it for me for Christmas one year. Ugh! Puff out my chest so you can see the bottom. Skaven shirt. I love it, because it's also, like, really loose. So it's like my comfy day shirts. You know? When you're just kind of feeling... Maybe you had a big meal, you're feeling bloaty or something, you're just like, get out my comfy boy shirt. Just hangs off my body. Love it. I love a good comfy boy shirt. Oh. This is my I'm not going anywhere today shirt. Actually, I did go. I ran errands today, though, so it's not even true. People at the store are probably looking at me all funny, like, why is that man wearing, like, a weird rat cult shirt? That's fucked up. Ushopti and Support Stalkers did fine. Soul Grinder and the Sorcerer Lord did pretty well. Halberds did okay. Centaurs of Tzeentch mostly got shut down. Furies of Tzeentch also got shut down. Tricky Sky was the best. GG. Good win to Sun Mangoon. Sun Mangoon! Alright, I'm giving... Well, someone already gave Surfing Chicken the role. JP94 sending me another Skaven replay. We are truly blessed to be living in the Skaven timeline. I have a bunch more messages to check, but as people finish up the tournament, we will be slowing down on the amount of replays we get submitted to us, because obviously people will be done with their games. So let me just save up this round and we'll get back into another game. Don't you fret, friends. Don't you fret. Halvor versus Sunman, go! Sunman, go. Okay. I saved up the replays. Not everybody's done with their round 4 yet, so I can cast one more before I have to organize the finals. So let's see here. Tap Hat versus Nico. I don't know if I want to deal with a Dwarven Air Force. Do I have other stuff from Nico and Tap Hat? There's Top Hat. If I can cast other games from these two players, I would rather do that than cast Skyhammer. Alright, fuck. Looks like I have to. To uphold my promise to Nico, I will cast it. Lizardmen Dwarves. Top Hat with the Royal Air Force versus Nico with a bunch of slimy, filthy, disgusting, reptilian Bastards. Are treemen any good? Yeah, they're good. I don't think they're like crazy OP or super strong, but they're definitely like viable. Bet you could bench 220 in that like a rat hooker. Okie dokie. For the Dwarven Sky Force of Tapat, we have a bunch of gyrocopters and gyrobombers, 2 gyrobombers, 4 copters, and then we have 2 cannons, a master engineer with a bunch of buffs for his nearby missile units. Nah, just replenish and entrenchment. Then we have a Rune Lord who also has missile resistance for stuff around him, Rune of Wrath and Rune of Oath and Steel, and then Dwarf Warriors and minus blast charges in a teeny tiny little box. For the Blizzards, we have a bunch of Salamander hunting packs. 2? Oh, I thought it was 3. 2, and then an Ancient Salamander regular. Croxagores and Sacred Croxagores running up with Skinks, and then a Slann Mage Priest of Life with Just Awakening the Wood and Earthblood. But already the Lizards just abandon their Salamanders, realizing there's no saving them whatsoever. And the Salamanders, looks like both hunting packs are going to rout, and now the Ancient Salamander is the next target. You probably need Ripperdactyls in this matchup just to keep Gyrocopters honest, because without it, you can see that the Lizards don't have enough ground-based shooting to keep Gyrocopters honest. Like, maybe if they took some of those 400 gold Skink Skirmishers, maybe that would keep them honest, but I don't know. Non-armor-piercing missiles versus Gyrocopters does seem a little suspect. Both of the cannons are now shooting at the Slann. Slans have taken several nerfs over the last few patches. Still have 40% missile resistance, which is nice, but it won't really matter against 2 cannons. The cannons are still going to mess them up. I actually forget if missile resist even applies to artillery. I don't think it does. I think artillery bypasses missile resistance now I think about it, so Slan's probably just boned. Taking big old damage as the Lizardmen are getting messed up by minus blast and charges. They finally hit the front line. And this is the only spot where things could get a little hairy for the Dwarves, but, I mean, we've already lost a Slann, we've already lost a bunch of Salamanders, so I really do think the Dwarves just have this in hand. But if the Crocscores can get in here, these are pretty low-tier infantry, and then you can shut down both the cannons and get a lot of damage value back. So the Gyro Bombers are just sitting here bombing the poor Skinks. Interactive Dowie gameplay coming right up. Yeah! You don't love them so much? No. I didn't know. Wesley Bravo, I'm not sure of that. That's one of those game mechanics I'm not actually, like, sure of. That there are people who are more interested in that kind of thing. Gyro Bomber Playground, yeah. The Lizardmen, like, in current Dwarven meta, where their aerial units are pretty strong and stuff, you just kind of need to take Ripperdactyls if you're going to play this matchup at all. We are getting some shots back, though. As these Salamander hunting packs have gotten back, looks like Top Hot hasn't realized they've come back, and he is getting shot in the back for this. So his Gyrocopters are taking some serious damage while trying to shoot at the Salamander, and honestly kind of failing pretty horribly. So the Lizard's trying to come back in it a bit. We have Feral Cold Ones diving the backline. And like I said, once you get into this cookie jar, it's actually pretty easy to kill them all off. Miners and Dwarf Warriors are just not that good. Not that they should be. They're very low-tier units, but, you know, Crocscores will beat them up easily. So the cannons are shut down. Dwarf Warriors are shut down. Unfortunately, the Slann is already dead. Ancient Salamander's getting routed off now, too. So Lizards can't use their healing to try and stay in this game for longer. Gyrocopters, Gyro Bombers are back to get rid of more Skink cohorts. That just leaves us with Croxagores, Power Fist or otherwise, fighting the Rune Lord and the Master Engineer while the Skyhammers just deal with them all. Salamander hunting packs do take care of one of the Gyrocopters, push them away. Top Pot's really ignoring those guys. Needs to go back and finish them off once and for all so they stop shooting at his Gyrocopters. Oh, Razordons would also be good. Good point. Who am I playing the 4th game against? I'm lost. 4th game is against Chaveo. I believe that's Joy Boy. Alright, sorry. Had to help somebody find their opponent. I am pretty sure Joy Boy is Chaveo. Shovel! The Lizards on a slow march to death as they are going to take out the Rune Lord. Master Engineer is firing a shotgun at point-blank range. I still don't think it matters. Dwarven Air Force finally remembered that these salamanders exist and turn around to take them out. After taking an unholy amount of damage from the salamanders. 700 value, 900 value from those guys. Shooting up at the little dwarves. It's getting cast right now. Rune of Oath and Steel for even more armor for the Rune Lord. Not that it's going to help him. Proc scores and Feral Cold Ones are all pretty well done on armor piercing. So Rune Lord's still going to get beat up quite badly. As Gyrobopners continue to shoot down. Almost all the Skinks are gone, leaving us just with Croxagors, who are getting very, very, very low. And Gyrobombers continue to ignore them. Kyle Thompson, the 20 pounds. I have money because of content. Hummus, apart from the Skaven, which is your favorite faction? In-game, I like the Vampire Coast a lot. In lore, or like vibe, lore or vibe, it's probably the Empire. The Empire are greenskins, but I just like really like their aesthetic, and I like the thought of like mankind's last stand against the forces of chaos. The current iteration of Empire is kind of cringe, but I don't know. I really like taking Boris Todbringer and a bunch of heavy knights. I like huntsmen, I like handgunners, I like cannons, I like all that stuff. I don't love steam tanks and land ships, but it is what it is. Everything for the Lizardmen is routing. I'm going to fast forward at this point as we're just waiting for army losses to kick in. There we go. I do like Vampire Coast a lot too. I wish the Vampire Coast had more aggressive pirate type units in the infantry department. They don't fully fulfill the pirate promise, but otherwise they're pretty darn good. Gyro bombers got a lot of value. No one's surprised. Gyrocopters did fine as well. Cannons did pretty darn well. And for poor Nico, just had to walk into a grinder. Being back in my night shift. What up, Michael? Mitchell? Don't know which one you're going for there. But if you are who I think you are, the submitter of many a great High Elf replay to my Discord, welcome, sir. And if that's not you, then just take the credit. Just take the credit, bro. I believe we've already cast Halvor. I don't know if we've cast Svenspear. There's Kodak versus Svenspear. I don't know. It's Wood Elves, though. Can you really be mad at Wood Elves? Vampire OST, such a banger. Yeah. I wish the Vampire Coast would get some aggressive melee infantry. That would be very, very nice. Okay. Checking in on the bracket. We still have a couple people playing. There's one person in round 3. Well, okay, one matchup in round 3. And then there's 5 left for round 4. So about 6 best of 3s left before we're done with the Swiss stage. Halvor versus Svenspear. It's Michael in German. Gotcha. What up, dude? Wood Elves versus the Chaos Dwarves. For the Wood Elves, we have some flanking Wild Riders. Then a front line of Eternal Guard, backed up by some Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. And then War Dancers with Azurai Spears and War Dancers regular. Drycha as their lord with just Melkoths, and then a couple Glade Riders type in tips. No side for the Chaos Dwarves, we have a Sorcerer Prophet of Death, Fate of Bino and Spirit Leech up in the sky. 4 Bull Centaur Renders. Looks like 3 of them have great weapons. Oh, that's just a Hobgoblin. Whoops. 3 Bull Centaur Renders Grey Weapons, 1 Hobgoblin Regular, another one on the other side, and then Infernal Ironsworn and Chaos Dwarf Warriors, plus some Blazing Beards of Bazrak as a bit of a front line. It is a very heavy cav-oriented build for the Chaos Dwarves with a couple elite infantry in the front line as the Wood Elves try and kite back with Starfire Shafts. See how they can do in that endeavor. These Infernal Ironsworn using their blasting charges in the distance to good effect already take out most of an Eternal Guard. But thankfully for the Wood Elves, they kept their War Dancers very far away from those blasting charges, and now the War Dancers are running up. And they should do quite well against the Chaos Dwarf front line. Wild Rider's trying to get a sick rear charge. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord tries to stop it, but it's not nearly enough. The Blazing Beards do take all that damage. And the Starfire Shafts are now turning and firing at the Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, trying to free them up so that the Glade Riders with their Hagbane tips can clear those guys out. But the Hobgoblins are melting through the Wood Elves. Holy moly! Arnessa should have been a Dogs of Warlord. Oh. That's a shame. The Vampire Coast will lose one of their 2 cool lords. Bull Centaur Render's trying to find a home right now as they get hit with Melkoths, and then a bunch of Glade Guard are turning to shoot at them, and they can. This is kind of going to be their problem all game, is they can only be so many places at once, and wherever they aren't, they're going to get shot by Glade Guard. 2 of the Glade Guard getting shut down, but War Dancer with the Azrai Spears are going to get to fight that Bull Centaur Render in the distance. So these Bull Centaurs are going to want to get out of here pretty soon. Oh, armor-piercing War Dancers. Doing pretty darn good work against those Bull Centaurs. Yeah, these other Bull Centaurs are getting lit up by Starfire Shafts and then the Dryad summons, so it's a bad time to be a Chaos Dwarf. Still have 1 Starfire Shaft with their War Dancer Guardian chilling, doing whatever they want. No real threat over there. And Chaos Dwarves a little ahead on the balance of power. I think that's fraudulent. I think this game is up in the air, or even I would say Wood Elf favored. Diarrhea Storm with the 50 CZK. Thank you for hosting the tournament. Hell yeah, dude. Hope you had fun, whoever you were in the tournament. I don't remember a Diarrhea Storm on the bracket, but if I run into one, then I'll know it was you. In comes the Sorcerer Lord landing, but wherever he lands, there are going to be War Dancers ready to run at him as the Starfire Shafts are even turning to fight. This is probably going to be a bad fight for the Sorcerer Prophet. His heal is not quite ready yet, so all this damage that hits him will stick for the time being. More Starfire Shafts are freed up. Drycha runs forward to help the front line a little bit, and she does provide that plus 13 melee attack due to her Fanatical Resolve, which is huge, because the Wood Elf front line is armor-piercing. It just has low stats normally. For an elf, low stats. With Drycha buffing it up, they can actually cleave through the Chaos Dwarf Warriors pretty easily. Bull Centaur Renders very low, but are rallying on the backfield, trying to get back into it, as the Wood Elves still have 2 healthy Archers, and they still have 2 healthy War Dancer Azrai Spears. Those will be huge problems for the Chaos Dwarf win conditions, because the Chaos Dwarfs have a couple heavy infantry that could deal with those guys, but they're busy, and it is most of their build that is super weak to War Dancers with Azrai Spears. Speaking of which, they peel off some Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders to save the Starfire Shafts. In come the Bull Centaur Renders, charging through, get really big damage on the War Dancers, but now they're going to get the return damage that they don't want. Yeah, there goes a couple hundred HP before your eyes, there goes 600 HP before your eyes, there goes 1,000. The Bull Centaur Renders are deleted for fighting on top of those War Dancers. Not that they had too much choice. Drycha's running around, being spooky, being scary, trying to provide little melee attack buffs wherever she can go. The Blazing Beards are about to get routed off by a Wild Rider charge. Bull Centaur Renders are pushed away, and now the balance of power is starting to favor the Wood Elves, which I've been saying is the case, but they're trying. Spirit Leech in on Drycha as a giant flaming bull comes through. Can he actually get the Lord Snipe out? Because that would really even the odds and maybe even turn this in the Chaos Dwarf's favor. Drycha is a little overextended. Now some Eternal Guard are trying to show up and help out, and her Fanatical Resolve should be fully charged. Yes, it is. So anybody near her gets 50% more damage, 20 melee attack, which is gargantuan. My God. She does need to stay near those War Dancers, though. That is the thing. She's getting a little too loosey-goosey with her life, because if she gets sniped out, then the Wood Elf army is going to lose a lot of leadership. You lose your caster, and then you lose that potent buff of wherever she's at. These War Dancers are sitting here fighting Bull Centaur Renders. Are getting Melkoths, and they have 61 melee attack as long as Drycha is remotely nearby, which is pretty good, pretty big. Starfire Shafts are rallied and nice and safe, all firing in. If I were them, I would focus down the Bull Centaur Renders rather than the big boy. It's another Spirit Leech is going to hit Drycha, just to reduce the amount of things on the battlefield, because he is going to keep healing whenever you cast a Melkoths. But the Bull Centaur Renders can't heal, so if you can take them out, you secure your Archers, and then the Archers can just all shoot the Sorcerer Prophet at that point, and not worry about getting, shut down or poked or anything like that from the Bull Centaur renders. Just take out more mobility. Just like that, Bull Centaur renders are dead. They leave. War Dancers get hit with a nasty blasting charge from the Infernal Ironsworn. They have like half of a volley left for them. Just half. If I was Drycha, honestly, maybe don't cast Melkoths at all anymore. Oh, thankfully that one won't count because he's already... his heal is on cooldown, but I would save your Melkoths for a bit, get some poke onto the Sorcerer Prophet, and then you can spam him out in the late game if you need to on those Infernal Ironsworn, but I wouldn't risk healing him up at this point. Though actually, nah, fuck it, never mind, you're fine, you're fine. Because you can set him on fire with the Starfire Shafts, I forgot that, so his healing's half as effective. Then Melkoths is super worth it to just spam on the Infernal Ironsworn while your War Dancers deal with this. I'm surprised Drycha's playing so far back, because the War Dancers really need her plus 20 melee attack to get through the Infernal Ironsworn's 65 melee defense. I understand she's a little bit scared, but this guy could honestly Spirit Leech her from this distance anyway if you wanted to. As he's trying to navigate his way around. There's the Spirit Leech we were worried about, and then he's going to pull away. Now she maybe can't cast a Melkoths right now because he's going to heal up. If he backs off, gets away from that fire damage, but he routs Armulus' hits, and it's a moot point as Drycha barely survives the Spirit Leech. That is GG. Drycha seems to be a winning choice mode matchup. Oh, she's really good. Yeah, she's really good. The Wood Elves right now, I don't think they have any overpowered legendary lords, anyone that's like a must pick or you're trolling. But I think they have a lot of solid lords, like good, but not OP. Drycha, Durthu in certain matchups, basic caster with a bunch of lore of magic options and a very fast eagle mount at a low price point is very, very good in a lot of matchups. The Pravenoth Rayma Lord is pretty good. I've even seen the Melee Lord in some builds, so it's like the Wood Elves have a solid roster of Lords, but no one like really shining or being OP. Alright, checking back in on the tournament. I have a message request from Marcus. And how are we doing on the bracket? Still... someone's still in round 2, which I don't think that's right. Are Poison and Pro 2... oh, sorry, round 3. Are Poison and Pro 2 actually still playing? Because Poison already played the round 4 game. Pro 2 already played their round 4 game. So I don't know what's going on with that. Dust Bunny, Nardu, Shiriaki, and Power Chan still playing. Okay, let's check in on the scores. Because if none of them are going to go 4-0, I don't think it matters. Because usually we have a 4-0. Hayseed is 4-0. Rakito is 4-0. Del Ducasa Bado is 4-0. Because he misreported one. Sunman Goon, did you lose one or did you have a bye round? Sunman Goon lost to Halvor here. You can just watch me do this so you don't have nothing to look at. So Sunman Goon lost. He's actually not in our top 4. 4-0. So Hayseed 4-0. Rakito 4-0. That is a 4-0. He misreported. Michael and Chaveo. Chaveo got a bye round. So he might be a 4-0. Where did McCallum lose? Lost to Shirayuki. Okay. And then Archangel, Halvor. Neither of them are yet to play. JP. Okay. So I think, if I'm correct, Chaveo, Deldu, Rakito, and Hayseed are our 4-0s. Alright, sorry. Dealing with things. Okay. Joy Boy. Rakito, I believe, was one of our 4 O's. Yes? No? Yes? Yep, and then Hayseed. And Hayseed are undefeated. Did I miss anyone? Only undefeated matters at this point. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out the tournament finals. At the moment, while I save up some more things. Someone just sent me a donation, and I have not missed it. I will get to it in just a second. Get to it in just a second. Don't yell at me. I'm busy trying to get things done. So assuming I didn't miss anyone. Then our finals will be this. So, Del Duca versus Warrior of Live Coaching. Keto versus Hayseed. Winners of those battles face off for final. Shirayuki just sent me a game. Where are they at? Power Chan. And they got a bye round. No fucking shot. They also 4-0'd. Yeah, alright, they lost round 1. Nothing against Shirayuki, I just don't want a 5-way tie. A 4-way tie is already enough for me, come on. Alright. Okay. I'll keep an eye on that as needed, but that has been enough of a stall. It always happens, you gotta set up the finals and whatnot, so sorry about the slowdown for you guys. We have Versok versus Power Chan. Let's get back into the replays. Daryl Cummins, I believe? Or is it Cumins? 50 euros. Final catching you live. Congrats on a long, happy life together for the newlyweds. Many happy hours of entertainment over the last couple of years. Hey, man. Thank you so much. And many more to come. A weekly new player tournament, shifting our time zones around to always provide people with options to play. And we have the Warpstone Cup Finals, which will be cast live on CA's Total War channel. Co-cast between myself and BattleZ. Got a lot of good stuff coming up. Then there's a faction war that has to get done this summer because we never did one for Thrones of Decay. We put it off for the Warpstone Cup. We have Vermin League finals to get through. There's a lot of good shit coming, man. A lot of good shit coming. For Zok versus Power Chan, we have Svarik, the Feathered Prince on Demons of Chaos, Bluefire, and the Gateway of Tzeentch. Bloodletters, Seekers, Karanak, the Bloodhound of Khorne, Screamers, Blue Horrors, and that is it. And this side for the High Elves of Power Chan, Triple Lyran Reaver Archer, Imric up in the sky with all of his buffs, some Silver Helms, some Lyran Reavers, the Fireborn, recently buffed up to get armor piercing, not that that matters against demons. Then we have the Pure Main Company, a bunch of Spearmen, and a Life Caster with Regrowth and Earthblood. Lucinia, it's true, dude. Rules disputes all day long. Fireborn charge the Seekers, and even without magic damage, even though their armor piercing doesn't matter, the stat difference between them and the Seekers is wild. So they will beat up on the Seekers super one-sidedly. Though, the Seekers are also like half the cost, so taking about half HP off the Fireborn is a pretty good trade for the Demons of Chaos. Well, I wouldn't say good. It is an even trade, so they didn't really lose too much value in this trade. But now with the Screamers diving in and Bloodletters as well, the Fireborn should be opting out of here. They don't want anything to do with this battle at the moment. Elsewhere, Imric is trying to help out fighting against Seekers as Blue Fire hits him in the face. He does have fire resistance, which makes the Blue Fire do a little bit less damage versus him, but overall it's fine. Demons of Chaos chilling awfully far back. Might want to move up, since their blue horrors don't get to shoot at elves from all the way over here. And there goes a regrowth to save the Fireborn. They are not currently on fire, so that healing is unmitigated. They'll go back to perfect vigor and full HP. Healing magic. Bounce power is about 50-50 as both sides are trading good blows. Imric gets a beautiful breath attack down both sides. The blue horror's shield saved them for a little bit. Bloodletters have no such fortune. Seekers still getting ridden down by Lyran Reavers and Silver Helms. Does this turn at any point? Does Svarek and Karanak come over and help out with this fight? It doesn't look so, as the Seekers are going to be left to their own devices. Karanak's just chilling, and another blue fire tries to poke down Imric. Though I'm sure there is a regrowth with his name on it should he find himself in need. Surprised how little the Fireborn healed from that overcasted regrowth. That's a little surprising, but the blue horrors and Bloodletters getting a good pick onto the skirmish cav that just walked into melee. A bit of an oopsie for the High Elves coming back to hurt them. They're having a bad time. They're having a real bad time. Meanwhile, over here, Karanak did finally dive in. Lord of Dragons is down, and Imric has landed. Now, can Karanak damage him? I wonder, does he have his little Hound's net? Because if so, he should definitely use that. Wounded Prey is in, lowering Imric's vigor and melee defense. There's the Fleshhound summon, and Imric is all of a sudden in actually pretty big trouble. Karanak's quite good at sniping out Lords. Imric's trying to run away. It doesn't look like Karanak took the net, which is kind of wild. His net is amazing. But he's going to keep after Imric, just annoy him, poke him down the whole time. Meanwhile, Svarek dives in to get rid of the Lyran Reavers and Silver Helms. The Seekers actually held on, which is actually super shocking to me. Oh, but Gaze of Fate is a net. I forgot we have Svarek here. Imric gets netted down right in front of Karanak, and then a blue fire pokes him over the top. Doesn't do that much, but there's a weakness to fire damage and reduced armor. Unfortunately, the blue horrors are out of ammo, so that fire damage isn't going to amount to much. And Karanak doesn't actually have it. Here comes the regrowth. Imric is currently on fire, though I don't know from what. It is from Svarek himself. So Imric will get healed less than anybody else would, and he is getting beat up real bad. And the High Elves all of a sudden in a nasty way. That is brutal. Demons of Chaos still doing well on the front line overall. High Elves are holding for now, but, you know, they're High Elves. They do that from time to time. The big story is Imric getting sniped out alone in the backfield. Karanak actually pieces out. He is going to go after the enemy caster, who's currently getting attacked by the Screamers, but Karanak might just get on top of her and then keep her from casting spells ever, because he does have that silence aura. Looks like he actually goes back after Imric instead, rear charges him, decides against leaving Svarek and the Seekers to their own devices, wants to lower that Imric melee defense by 5 more. Curse of the Slug slows him down. Not that he was going anywhere anyway, but just to make sure he can't decide to go anywhere if he wanted to. Seekers and Karanak beating up on Imric. Hound of Khorne takes a big old chomp in the flank from Mithrandir. Imric's dragon. Imric's fucking dragon with the M name. That's aggressive. I'm surprised how long Imric is lasting here, considering how poorly it went for as long as it did. It has now seemed to rally a little bit, and then a blue fire hits him, takes a little bit more damage off. His leadership is holding for now. And the High Elves are starting to clean up around the map, so the Demons of Chaos need to hurry up and kill Imric, but he's been down here forever. 56 melee defense, still a hell of a drug, as Gaze of Fate is going to lock him down. Karanak looks like he's going to go refresh his charge bonus so he can actually hit Imric. 1,000 HP left on him, but everybody left! Can Imric get back into the sky? He cannot. Karanak does catch up to him, gets a nice side charge. It looks like he might rout Imric. Never mind, he's not going to. Svarek has to land on Imric too, finally routing him. As Imric's been out here forever, dude. He's been chilling for so long. The Fireborn ride into the Seekers. Elsewhere, the Demons of Chaos frontline has been just wiped off the face of the earth. Now we see, can the High Elves carry without Imric? Svarek is healthy. Karanak's not healthy, but Karanak is still around. Seeker's going to get picked off by the Fireborn. Bloodletters chasing off Lyran Reavers and Silver Helms. And there's a huge Gaze of Fate. Oh, that is, sorry, Gateway of Tzeentch or whatever the hell it is. That is going to be gigantic. It's 3 units. It's barely damaging this Spearman, but it is deleting the other 2. And that is exactly what the Demons of Chaos needed to stay in this game. Now rear charge that Spearman with Svarek. Jump in there. You can terror out him. Jump in him, Svarek. Jump in there. He's going now. A little slow on the play, but overall does the right thing. That should get rid of the Spearmen. There they go. And Karanak is trying to kill the Fireborn, getting some decent damage out there. Meanwhile, the High Elves are trying to heal up their infantry that just got murdered by that giant portal. Svarek putting his carry pants on. 2,200 value. Bloodletter's killing off another Spearman. For the High Elves, we have extremely wounded Fireborn, healthy-ish Mage, healthy-ish Spearman, 3 Skirmish Cav with a good amount of ammo, and we do have an Illyrian Reaver in the distance. Though Bolt of Change is about to kill the Spearman and the Lady. 2-for-1 value there as Svark's about to dive in. He's going to terror out away these Spearmen super quickly and leave the Mage all on her own. Then she can be killed by Karanak, and I think this is going to be a GG for the Demons of Chaos. From an even game state where anyone could win to all of a sudden one-sided demolition in the blink of an eye. Gaze of Fate locks her down in place, but it will not save her. Won't stop the death that is coming. I don't know why it would save her. It is netting her, so it's actually terrible for her, but whatever. Shush. Angel Dust. Sending me a replay. Thank you, Angel Dust. Versak showing the buffed Demons of Chaos are a threat. Svarek and Karanak doing very well. Bloodletters did fine. Blue Horrors all paid for themselves. Screamers did all right. And Seekers, mixed, but overall pretty good. For Power Chan, Imrik did his best to hold the Demons at bay forever. The Infantry of the High Elves did not do very much, but the Fireborn did well, and the Illyrian Reaver Archers did okay. Okay. High Elves versus Demons. Michael with the 6 euros. Thank you. Thank you. Isn't the net banned? Oh, it's banned in the rules. Got it. I thought it was just banned on our bot, which I don't have all the bans from the bot here. In a new player tournament, I tend to just be more chill. We have seen Hayseed, we have seen Top Hat. We have not seen Hellwing, and I don't know if we've seen Nolan. So let's go. Some Skaven versus Nurgle action. I have a bunch of things to read. I don't want to read. I won't read. You can't make me. All right, Skaven versus Nurgle. Does Kugath have Rants of Visitations? Yes, he does. All right, Skrulk is in danger. For the Skaven, we have Gutter Runners, buffed, Eshin Triads, an Assassin, Plague Monks, Clan Rats, Warp Lightning Cannons, some Rat Ogres, Lord Skrulk, and that is it. I really like Lord Skrulk versus Demons, though specifically not Nurgle. I like the Grayseer on his Bell versus Nurgle because he's just a lot tankier to Rants of Visitations. On the other side for Nurgle, we have Chaos Warhounds with Poison, Plague Bearers and Nurglings, a bunch of Plague Toads, Chaos Furies and Nurgle, a Soul Grinder, and Kugath. And immediately I am worried because Nurgle is taking a fight they can't win. The Warp Lightning Cannon is going to outduel Kugath and the Soul Grinders. They're going to need to get up there and stop it somehow. As you can see, Kugath is taking a lot of damage to these Warp Lightning Cannons. He needs to move up as quickly as possible. They are now starting to move, but they needed to realize the situation they were in a little bit sooner. Soul Grinder is trying to shoot at anything that comes near him, but unfortunately doesn't do very much versus single entities, so far that hasn't amounted to much. It will do much more when he gets to hit infantry. Eshin Triads take the charge versus the Plague Toads and the Nurglings. They will not like this fight at all. Eshin Triads and Eshin units in general rely on a very hefty amount of physical resistance. A lot of people don't realize that. So versus demon units, it's really tough for them to stay alive. I like Gutter Runners for different reasons, because they're just so strong against demons. Demons don't have high armor, and Gutter Runners don't have armor piercing. So their physical resistance lacking doesn't matter, but I generally don't take Triads here because their armor sundering doesn't matter against demons as much. And their lack of armor, relying on physical resistance, is super risky versus demonic factions. But I suppose, like, this isn't a true demon faction, it's Nurgle, so there could be armor here, but still, I don't think it's a worthwhile risk. Warhounds get through onto the Gutter Runners, but Gutter Runners are decent melee combatants, and a downhill Rat Ogre charge should be able to take them out. Nurgle's front line is here, and this is what Skrulk is good at. While I think he's super weak to Ransom Visitations, and I wouldn't take him for that reason, he is amazing at just getting into a demonic fight, throwing down Rod of Corruption, which he needs to just opt into the fight and get in there. Since you took him, you might as well use him, because 2 Overcast Ransom Visitations, and he's literally dead. Not like... where I say that, like, oh, he's, like, dead. He's at 10% health and not useful. I mean, like, 2 Ransom Visitation Overcast will kill him. So, just use him while you have him, because there's no keeping him alive if Kugath decides to use his Winds of Magic on that. Now, the Warped Lightning Cannon has done a lot of damage to Kugath. He might use his Winds of Magic on a Fleshy Abundance rather than killing Lord Skrulk. And now Chaos Furies are trying to shut down the Warped Lightning Cannon to buy a little bit of time. But you can see that Rod of Corruption is so brutal against the demonic factions. Takes out 2 Nurglings and takes a Plague Bearer very low. So great stuff here for Lord Skrulk. Really like him in those situations. Skaven Slaves trying to peel off the Chaos Furies, but they are not up to the task at all. Warped Lightning Cannon is shut down. Kugath does heal himself up with a Fleshy Abundance. Considering how low he was, I get it. It sucks, but I get it. Like, you don't want to use Ransom Visitations and then just lose your own Lord. But things are going pretty poorly for Nurgle. Assassin is holding up multiple units. These Nurglings and Plague Toads are going to have to just walk past that and ignore them. As Kugath is in a great situation. Cat missed his jump and he feels bad. Kugath's in a great situation. He loves just sitting in giant piles of things and draining them all down. He will beat Skrulk in a fight if he gets constant orders to hit Skrulk instead of hitting random stuff around him. But generally, he would like some kind of support to be nearby for him. I don't think he has the Nurgling Summon or anything. Assassin's Trophy is also making him much more hittable. And there's the Rival Hide Talisman, so now Kugath has almost no melee stats. Now Skrulk will beat him, and my kitty made the jump. Hello, kitty. Hey, buddy. Speaking of Hello Kitty, where did Hello Kitty go? I feel like Hello Kitty was all the rage, and now it's just dead. Anyway, more Nurglings and Plague Toads trying to get involved in the fight. The Soul Grinder is still firing away at the blob. Balance of Power is slightly Skaven favored, but I have to say this should be extremely Skaven favored. As the first Ransom Visitations comes out, it is Undercast, and it takes almost half of Skrulk's health. Undercast almost takes half of Skrulk's health. There was a reason I am so scared of that spell and only take the Gracier on his spell. For his increased health pool, but also his spell resistance to just try and stay alive from Ransom Visitations. It is super brutal. Standard Ground is out from Skrulk to give his troops a little bit more melee defense as he pieces out of here, and Nurglings are in. Chaos Fury is running around doing some damage, so are Plague Toads. I'm kind of surprised the Balance of Power is this close. Still have a full health Soul Grinder, I suppose. Kugath is getting very low, but Skrulk has to have another Rod of Corruption up his sleeve, and that would do really good damage against these Nurglings and the Plague Toads who are already faltering. Yeah, look at that damage. They're just getting worked on, and they are gone. Nurglings lose about a third of their HP during the course of the Rod of Corruption. It's really good stuff, but now the Terror Rod is in from Skrulk. 1 Ransom Visitations Overcast, if Kugath can find the Winds of Magic, would kill Skrulk and give Nurgle a real fighting chance in this game, because without their Lord, the Skaven leadership will just fall apart. You still have a terror-causing unit in the Soul Grinder of Nurgle. Kugath's getting low, 4,000 HP. Skrulk only has 2,100, though, so the HP bar differences is insane. Even though the percentages look close, it's like... Kugath just has so much more. Libra Bubonicus onto him, draining him down a little bit more, while anything that can shoot is shooting at Kugath. Skrulk is still fighting back. Kugath's down to 2,600 HP now. Skrulk is actually starting to catch up in the HP department, but there goes up Fecundity, healing up Kugath, giving him Vigor back as well. And now Skrulk realizes he has to run Ransom Visitations right around the corner. Kugath has to be saving up for that. Fleshy Abundance is not nearly as worth it as a Ransom Visitations is at this point, since you're fighting Skaven. Like, I know you're scared of Kugath dying, but if Skrulk dies, the Skaven just lose. Prioritize that. If Kugath dies, you don't just lose. You still have a Soul Grinder and stuff. It's about context, and there we go. In comes another Ransom Visitation. Skrulk is dead and gone, and I have to say, I don't see how Skaven are going to win this game. Like, there's no hope Skrulk lives through that. 0. Skrulk is routing. Minus 54 leadership. 11 HP, and he is gone. And then everybody routs, and all of a sudden, Balance of Power shifts heavily into Nurgle's favor. I for sure agree. And the Soul Grinder is going to charge in. As soon as this Gutter Runner routes, I honestly think army losses will take the Skaven out. I guess those Rat Ogres are enough to keep the Balance of Power in it, but I'm shocked that that is the case. You'd think with Kugath and a Soul Grinder, a single Rat Ogre being on the battlefield wouldn't matter, because all this stuff's routing. It doesn't matter right now. Rat Ogres take a big old punch to the face. Assassin's coming back. Balance of Power is trying to rally, and I'm trying to tell the Balance of Power, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Kugath's just going to have another Fecundity, heal himself up. You don't have anything that can kill him outside of melee, and in melee, he's just going to Mortis Engine you all down. This isn't going to work. Cheaper anti-large than Storm Vermin. Yeah, I would say Storm Vermin is better than Eshin Triads in this specific matchup. They're just different. Like, Triads are cheaper, and Triads have Armor Sundering, and they have stock, while Storm Vermin are more expensive, but they have higher armor and higher stats. So it's really what you want them for. Both are good units. Eshin Triads are good, Storm Vermin are good, it just is matchup dependent. Versus Nurgle, I would go with Storm Vermin, though. And that is GG. A very strong comeback win from Nurgle. I thought the Skaven had it for a while, but they just couldn't polish off Koozie. Just saved our first semifinal. We shouldn't be getting any more replays. I should be getting the other semifinal and then the final. But there will be less delays of me grabbing stuff. For Nolan, Son of Cain, it was a good attempt, a very close game. The Eshin Triads both got bodied. Plague Monks also got bodied. Gutter Runners did well. Rat Ogres did well. Warp Lightning Cannon did amazing. For Hellwing, Kugath put the game on his back. 3,700 damage value. All of his infantry got murked. His dogs got murked. His Furies did really well. Plague Toads did okay. And the Soulgrinder did okay. It was mostly the Kugath show on a small map. Alright, we have Hayseed versus Marcus Manlius. Where was the thing I just cast? Did I delete it already? How did I delete it? What the fuck? Where did I get that Skaven game? Wait, where did the Skaven game go? No! I need to delete it, I've already cast it! Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. I found it. Alright. Let's keep looking for people we haven't cast at all yet. So where does this start? McCallum versus Contrarian. I've already cast both of these players. Hayseed and Marcus Manliness. I have not cast both these players. Del Duca Sabado versus Diarrhea Storm 94. Okay. We'll get some Diarrhea Storm in there. Empire Khorne. Hi, Wicked. How do I send you a replay? If you don't know how, can you ping the council guard in my server and they can help you? I could, but I'm just streaming and busy and I'm sure someone there can tell you. But, yeah. Just DM, after you know how, DM it to me in Discord and I'll just save it. Alright, for the Warriors of Chaos, Del Duca Sabado has a Master Engineer on the Steam Tank. The mount was nerfed just by giving it a bunch more cost, but it also did get an ammo increase because they fixed a bug that was actually depleting its ammo too quickly. Then we have the Sterlin's Revenge and Silver Bullets, RORs, a Hawkland Long Rifle, a Jade Wizard with just Earthblood, and then Demigryph Knights, Knights of Black Rose, and Empire Knights. On the other side, for Khorne, we have one less Chaos Fury than they started the game with. Chaos Fury, some Minotaurs, some Throwing Axes, a bunch of Marauders, Chaos Warrior, Minotaur, and Scarbrand. Second Chaos Fury is also going to go out much like the first. And I believe I was complimenting Rakido in round 1 when we were casting his vampire counts versus the Skaven of Yashkov. You can see that this is what happens when you don't time your flyers appropriately. The flyers are trying to distract the guns, but it's before anyone gets in range. They're not protecting anyone with this time, they're just dying. Where Rakido delayed it, and then he dove in with his flyers just moments before his front line was going to hit, and then the front line didn't get shot. But now it's kind of pointless. The front line still isn't here, and all the Furies are dead. Dogs try and charge in, but Demigryph Knights with halberds countercharging them. Takes them out entirely. They're already pushed off, and it is a big lead for the Empire early into this game. Silver Bullets and the Sterling's Revenge probably going to shoot at Skarbrand as soon as the Master Engineer just wanders around. Skarbrand does pop his Rampage. It affects the Master Engineer briefly, but he accidentally walks out of it, which does get him to safety. And Skarbrand got into the cookie jar. Has distracted Hawk and Long Rifles and Silver Bullets. That is very good for Skarbrand, but where's the follow-up? As we have Minotaurs trying to come in a little late. Marauder Horsemen of Khorne, AFK in the back, and that is going to cost them quite a lot, as they do need to be involved here if they're going to stand a chance. The Steam Tank is firing away at Skarbrand. He's now surrounded by Demigryph Knights with halberds, those anti-large, monstrous cav trying to knock him down as he goes for the Jade Wizard. Could try and snipe out the Jade Wizard, but he's just all alone back here. He needs a lot more forces nearby. And more quickly. The Forgotten Skirmish Cav will be very brutal. Skarbrand slaps the Jade Wizard once, then fucks off to charge down the side of the Silver Bullets and actually get a lot of damage out. And so far, he's done a good job of shutting down the enemy shooting. I'll give him that credit. Obviously, forgetting units is a bit of a whoopsie, and not timing the engagements appropriately is a bit of a whoopsie, but at least he has good target priority when he is in the fight. Like, Skarbrand's doing about what he should be. He just needs to be doing it with more support. As the front line of Khorne is slowly getting through the Imperial front line. Slowly, being a keyword there. And they have killed about 400 Imperials, so I wonder when a Sword of Khorne will be available. Because if Skarbrand can get one of those big, like, rampage multiple units into him, and then when they all stand around, he hits him with the Sword of Khorne, that could be huge. Minotaur's trying to get back here to Skarbrand. Save him from the Demigryph Knights as he continues to wander away. It looks like he's going for the Jade Wizard. Charges up to him. And then stands around, dude. I don't know why Skarbrand's model is still so fucked up. There we go. We get a big hit in. He's going to tear out away that Jade Wizard. Gets a second big hit in. And a third. And still the Marauder Horsemen of Khorne do nothing. All right, they are finally getting into the fight now. Minotaur's trashing the halberds. And Skarbrand pops his Rampage, but even if he caught the Jade Wizard, Rampage doesn't work on something that's already running away. It's not like they'll rally to Rampage into you. Meanwhile, the Steam Tank is just helping take out the Minotaurs and Chaos Warriors of Khorne. You'd think that this wouldn't be a good fight for the Steam Tank, but it is. Minotaurs are actually getting pretty good damage onto it, though, so it's not free. Skarbrand is going to follow the Jade Wizard off the map. He has 2 more speeds, so theoretically he should be able to catch him, but he's tired and the other guy is fresh, so I guess that guy will get away, but Skarbrand should be able to escort him all the way off the map. I'm not sure if that's going to matter, though, because while he is gone, his army is taking a lot of damage. A lot of stuff's routing. His infantry are in bad shape. We really just have 2 skirmish cav of Khorne. Has a lot of the strength left of the army without Skarbrand. With Skarbrand, I mean, he's got a good amount of health to still help out with things. But without him, I mean, it's brutal. Marauder Horsemen just rout. And I have 4 pings. Hellwing sending me a replay. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Skarbrand's charging back in. He is going to get Last Samurai a little bit by the Hawk and Long Rifles, the Silver Bullets, and Demigryph Knights with halberds trying to stop him. He paths straight through the Demigryph Knights. He is going for the gold, but he's just kind of walking. He's not running for some reason. Now he finally gets the charge in, and the Silver Bullets are trying to fire. A little half-assed about it, but they eventually get the damage in that they need. Meanwhile, the Master Engineer is still cleaning up the back line. The Sterling's Revenge dealing with all these guys. Everybody's starting to rout, and I wouldn't be shocked if army losses took Skarbrand right now. Hellwing successfully sent a replay. Let's fucking go. And that is that. Master Engineer on his tank did a lot of good work. Stone's Revenge, Silver Bullets both did very well. The Cavalry all got some good value as well. Alrighty, where were we? So I skipped that one briefly because there was a game with 2 people we haven't seen yet. Now I'm just curious how many people we haven't seen. I don't think we've seen Pra 2. I don't think we've seen Marcus Manliness. We haven't seen Corvus Glaive. I would remember. Because we love Corvus Glaive. I don't know if we've seen Angel. We've seen Archangel, but I don't know if we've seen Angel. Sun Mangoon! I don't know if we've cast Michael yet. Okay, we're actually doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good on just dipping our toes everywhere a little bit. Yeah, nice, nice. That's actually not that many games left before we've cast everybody, at least once. So let's do this. Marcus Manliness and Pra 2. Let's get another 2 for 1. Did the buffs finally make the Smell Pit Abominations viable? I would say that is the very appropriate word. I'd say viable, not good. But, like, there are certain matchups where you take one and you're not trolling. You haven't casted Michael? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, yeah. Tactical Lich promoting his own channel on my channel. That's fucked up. That's not fucked up. We love Tactical Lich. And we will be rating Tactical Lich when we're done. Alright, for Marcus Manlius versus Pra 2, we have a Celostra Diraphon Vampire Coast Mirror. For Marcus, he is going with the Rotting Leviathan, Triple Mourngulls, Fellbats, Deckhands Mobs, the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard, Celostra Diraphon with a Crab Summon and Tidal Wave, and then Vampire Fleet Captain with Summon, Invocation of Heck, Rush. That was a long sentence. On the other side, for the Vampire Coast, we have Pistol Mobs, Deck Dropper Pistol Mobs, Celostra with Kraken's Pull and her Tidal Wave. Bunch of Deckhands Mobs, including the Tide of Skuld, Rotting Prometheans, Syrenes, Deck Gunners, and the Lamprey's Revenge. Crabs and Ghosts versus Mourngulls and a Rotting Leviathan. Let's see. Fellbats attack the pistol front line, getting a bit of damage out. The pistols should beat the Fellbats in melee combat, because Fellbats are just Fellbats. But the Fellbats will beat up deck droppers. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. As bat on bat violence is not good. Celostra chucks out her first summon of Rotting Prometheans. She also has her Ghost Knights that if she can get those, if she can get the Ghost Knights on the Syrenes, that would be huge. Syrenes or the Deck Gunners are great targets for that. Kraken's Pull is out. I don't think it'll do that much damage to the Mourngulls. We'll see. It's not a spell that I really have muscle memory for because I never fucking see it. But yeah, it doesn't do much to Mourngulls. That one, to be fair, I don't think that's Kraken's Pull's fault. I don't think Pit of Shades or any Vortex spell really does that much damage to Mourngulls. Okay, 1 second. I have 9 pings. Is this important? Who's the top bracket of finals between me and the other guy? Riquito. Alright, sorry. The finalists had a question, so I didn't want them to wait. Because in Europe, it might be getting late and they want to go to bed. So, sorry about that. Damn Knights Errant are out. They need to go find some ghosts. And the Syrenes just book it away from them. They're like, nope! These other Syrenes are still in it. But yeah, actually, the Damn Knights Errant have a lot of good targets. They can either attack crabs, which are heavily armored, and they have armor piercing. They can attack Syrenes, they can attack deck droppers. Really anything, but Fellbats actually get back to the deck gunners and kill them off. And Mourngulls are still just fighting in this big old clump. As, other Celostra also has her Damn Knights Errant hit the Mourngulls now. These Mourngulls aren't weak to magic damage or anything, and they aren't particularly armored, but still, don't love ghostly heavy cabs slamming into them. As the Rotting Leviathan pushes its way through the front line, ominously moving up. There are still 2 handgun mobs that can do some decent damage to the big boy, but Celostra's distracting one as the Rotting Leviathan goes for it, slams into them itself. And the Tide of Skuld alarmed that all the crabs they were just fighting fell down and died. They didn't like that at all. Rotting Leviathan helping Slaanesh to clear out some of the handguns. The red front line is having a bad time. And over here, this looks dire for green, because it is. But also, there's a damn Knights Errant that is false. It is fake. It is going to die. Who's the top bracket between me and Rakito? I believe I answered that Del Duca. So, go you go. Anyway, Morngul's. One Morngul is at half HP. It's about to die. All the others are already gone. The front line still goes well for green, especially over here where we have the Bloody Reaver deck guard getting to fight Rotting Prometheans. Honestly, red needs to pull those Rotting Prometheans out. Yeah, they just need to get out of here. Tide Call pokes down some of the Sirens a little bit, plus there's another Rotting Promethean summon out, helping these Morngul's fight. And I'm getting very concerned for red. I suppose they still have the Lamper's Revenge, who are currently hidden in the forest because they were forgotten. They do need to be pulled up here. But even with that Lamper's Revenge, it's just looking like green is going to have a lot more left in the late game as Solastra fights Solastra, but the Solastra with the support of random troops will do better than the Solastra without the support of random troops, especially because there's a Vampire Fleet Captain nearby that can provide that taunt, the melee debuff, and now there's a Rotting Leviathan coming over, so yeah, red Solastra needs some serious help. Meanwhile, over here, Morngul's still fighting with Rotting Prometheans. This Rotting Promethean is a summon, so it'll eventually fade away. And red Solastra is even further outnumbered as another summon comes in, but she throws down a Kraken's Pull to get rid of the two real zombies as the Rotting Leviathan betrays her. Remember, she has a Rotting Leviathan mount, so she probably knows this one. She's probably like, Gerald? And Gerald's like, this is for Rakita! You left her alone! Did you just say Rakita because there's Rakito in your tournament? You couldn't think of a name quickly enough? Shut up! You know what? Hey, shut up! You know what? Hey! Yeah, you're right. I blanked on that one. Lamper's Revenge still being forgotten is so fucking brutal for the red team. You have no idea. They really need to remember that those are back there. As the Tide of Skill try and fight back against the Bloody Reaver Death Guard is not going to work. Solastra is getting chased around by the Rotting Leviathan that's not about to let her go. These deck droppers are actually still alive somehow. I honestly thought Felbats killed them like at the very start of the game. An all-Italian final, nice. Nice. I didn't know that about the players, but nice. Good job dossing them. I'm going to go to their houses now, because you told me where they live. Rotting Leviathan is actually taking a lot of damage, which is a bit surprising. I guess the Sirens have armor piercing, so does Solastra. I guess I'm just surprised. As the Lamper's Revenge, still just chill back there. Alright, wildest timeline. Red wins without the Lamper's Revenge, because there's apparently this handgunner that I didn't notice just outside the fight, firing in at the Rotting Leviathan, taking a ton of HP off the big boy. He doesn't have any missile resist, he just relies on 150 armor and a massive HP pool, but they have armor-piercing shots, and they're like, I don't care. Fucking fight me, son. Invocation of Heck trying to heal the Rotting Leviathan as he tries to force his way through all these littler crabs, through all the ghosts. He's like, please, just let me go. I need to kill those little shooty ones, please. Solastra's fighting the random vampire, while the other Solastra is fighting the other random vampires. Rotting Leviathan breaks through, he charges in, he gets big damage! Oh my god, oh, it's so much damage, holy shit! Oh my goodness! He's slapping, he's crabbing, he's doing his best. 'Cause this con has a monkey's chest. DK. Donkey Kong. DK. Donkey Kong is here. Rotting Prometheans and Sirens trying to fight against this Solastra, and Sirens are going to be dangerous versus her. Their magic damage obviously bypasses her physical resistance, but also her melee defense is very low, which is their only stat that they're actually bad at, is Sirens have pretty shit melee attack, but if she has shit melee defense, it doesn't matter. And in comes the Lamper's Revenge. All of a sudden, it is the time of the Reds. The rise of the Reds! This map has been this whole match has been very green favored, but all of a sudden, the Rotting Leviathan falling down to those handgunners, and the late game Lamper's Revenge coming in are going to be pretty brutal. We'll see if the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard can deal with them, but I don't know. Those shotguns are already doing a lot of damage. If the Lamper's Revenge just treat themselves like a ranged instead of a melee unit, they'll be okay. As the Rotting Leviathan hasn't given up on shit yet. He's less than 1,000 HP, but the other Solastra is also getting pretty low. He's thinking about crumble. He's starting to crumble. He's like, please, an invocation of Nehek, please. I'll kill so many Sirens if you just help me. Help me, Daddy. Invocation of the Heck is going to save the Rotting Leviathan at the last second. How are the crabs doing in the distance? They charge straight into the Bloodreaver Depth Guard, who popped in rage. They're chilling on damage resistance. Now an emboldened Rotting Leviathan charges back into Salastra, who's currently taunted by the Vampire Fleet Captain. A Kraken's pull is trying to pull the Rotting Leviathan down to the deeps, and he says, "No! My shell is far too hard for you. Fuck, I'm still crumbling. Shit, fuck, fuck. Somebody heal me, please. No, no, I didn't mean it, Daddy." And he dies. Rotting Leviathan is gone as the handgunners shot him from the side and crumbling took him out. All the red team infantry around here are about to die, but their Salastra's still alive, and Lamper's Revenge did good damage to Bloodreaver Depth Guard, but they need to run away now. They're at half HP, and they're like, never mind. Don't fight elite halberds. Fuck. And they run for it. Out comes another summon from the green vampire coast. The handgunners are like, are you shitting me? As the summoned zombies run straight at him, and another tide call hits the sirens, and Red Salastra's like, come on, dude, just let me have some infantry units, please. And Green says, no. Green says, no. Lampert's Revenge are coming. They're running away from the Bloody Rear Depth Guard, who are like, come here, no, charge him. Charge him. And the crab's like, no, don't charge him. Don't do that, no. Zombie Pride Deckhand Mob keeping the handguns offline for now as the crabs are into stabs. They need to kill Salastra and they need to kill her fast, but I guess it's a vampire unit, so you don't really get too much from the leadership debuff. Like, it's good. It's great to kill the vampire lord, don't get me wrong. But they have a hero caster, so they still have a backup caster, and their leadership is pretty good at this point because most of the stuff they have left on the ground is pretty elite. The Bloody Rear Depth Guard and the captain will be fine without Salastra, so it's not really such a big deal. Taunt is here, Charmed is here. That's a lot of melee debuffs onto Lampert's Revenge, and they are getting cooked. Their geese are cooked, and it's not even a Terrorgeist. There's no Terrorgeist in this game. It's different kinds of geese, and while the Lampert's Revenge are doing pretty good, they definitely came into the fight too late, and they are now just losing to the Bloody Reaver Depth Guard in the background. I think even if they kill Salastra, even if they kill the Vampire Fleet Captain, it is too late for the Lampert's Revenge to put this whole game on their back. I think this is GG. I'm just having a good time this game. I'm having a good time every game. Wicked and Guillaume having some banter as we watch the last moments of the Stabby Krabby. Stabby Krabby is Mr. Krabs' unknown second business venture after the Krusty Krab went under. He just made a box with knives on it. He's like, I call it the Stabby Krabby, me boy! And he throws it at SpongeBob. Stabs him several times. And since it's a kid's show and he's a sponge, you think, oh, it's just gonna like bounce off him. Teehee. It doesn't. He gets like murdered. Like, just absolutely eviscerated. Sponge blood all over the floors. How much effective damage mitigation is 120 armor on the crab? I don't know. I'd have to guess. If you're non-armor piercing, I'd guess it's probably around 85%. Would be my guess. Any stats nerds out there? I'm curious how close I got. Blood Reaver Depth Guard, 2,800 value for them. Really nice stuff for those guys. Morngulls did not do a lot. Rotting Leviathan actually did pretty fine. For Pra 2, in a great game. Sirens got a lot of damage value out. Deck Gunners got shut down pretty quickly. The RR Crabs and Handgunners did well. You were not having a good time when Malkuthon's Dragon won 6 tournaments in a row? Hey, Big D. Hey, Big D. Quick question. Quick question for you. Shh. Hey. You shush. You shush. I don't know why I turned into a dog there, but it is what it is. I just deleted a thing from one of the players because it's a game I already cast with him in it. And then we got rid of the Vampire Mirror. We do have 2 semifinals done. These are 2 of our semifinals. Our finalists are playing right now. Yes. Our finalists are playing right now, in fact. I will get to the semifinals, but first I do want to finish covering everybody. So we need Angel. We haven't cast Angel. We've cast Archangel, but not Angel. We need Angel. Corvus Glaive. McCallum, I know. After that, I think that's it. So is there anyone that covers 2 of them? Doesn't look like it. It looks like I'm just gonna have to cast 3 more games. Okay. We just cast a bunch of Norska and Vampire Coast, so I'm not going to go with that one. Let's find a different McCallum one. Oh my god, it's Nakari versus... Oh, I have to cast that, but later. Dwarves. I know Corvus had a different one. That is a Hyrule Titan. We're in. McCallum versus Svenspear. Tomb Kings and Tzeentch. Hyrule Titan and a Bone Giant versus Changebringers. Prepare yourselves for a bad time, Changebringers. Alright. For this game here, we have Tomb Kings versus Tzeentch. Tomb Kings brought the Chosen of the Gods who Shopti Great Bows, a Bone Giant, Sepulchral Stalkers, a couple Nehekar Warriors, Skeleton Spearmen in the front line, Ark in the Black, one Carrion, and a Hyrule Titan, who is currently doing his best, if I can't see you, you can't see me impression, but he doesn't know he's like wider than the post he's standing behind. On the other side, for Tzeentch, oh my god, that Bone Giant shot of the fucking Changebringers! Two Changebringers, soon to be one. Two Doom Knights of Tzeentch, a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, Final Transmutation is Chaos Spawn Summon, and Searing Doom. We have Blue Horrors, the Sour Guts, Pink Horror, ROR, and a frontline of Marauders. As already one of the Changebringers is dead. Oh. Oh, there's a Necrotect. Hi, Necrotect. Good for you, little buddy. He has a couple buffs, but mostly there for his restore. Bone Giant nicks the Changebringers a little bit. Now the Chosen of the Gods, Arawaru Shopti, is going to get a shot in. Changebringers get a nice shot down the side of the Nehekar Warriors, but I think they're already doomed as the Hyrule Titan also throws out a Shem's Burning Gaze, another Bone Giant shot, and yeah, that is a dead Changebringer. And two very expensive Flying Cav pieces off the map before the game even really begins is just so brutal. Is that a Doom and Darkness? A Doom and Darkness to proc the Demonic Leadership buff! Ah, I love it! I love it. I have been on the Doom and Darkness train for like 3 patches, and I'm glad people are finally joining me in that line of thought. It's so good situationally. Anyway, Blue Horrors and Pink Horrors are in, and the Chosen of the Gods all of a sudden taking a rainbow cavalcade, or whatever the hell that fancy word is, of damage. Slow but sure damage. But losing the Changebringers put them so far behind the balance of power, and I don't even disagree. Doom Knight's trying to stop the Bone Giant from shooting ever as the Hyrule Titan and Necrotech stomp their way through these guys and try and get some good damage out. The Van Braces of the Sun providing a bit of melee defense reduction on the Doom Knights, making it easier for the Hyrule Titan to get some stuff done. A quick Final Transmutation hits 3 single entities, so that is a beautiful Final Transmutation cast, but I think it is just like far too late for Tzeentch. Losing the Changebringers was really tough. Like, I don't know if you understand the cost. That is like losing a Dread Saurian. That's the level of cost we're talking about here, is if you just walked a feral Dread Saurian into battle and he fucking died without getting anything done. That's how brutal the Changebringer snipes were. Doom Knights and Sour Guts take a little bit of damage from one of the Hyrule Titan's bound spells. And the Bone Giant's trying to figure out what he should be doing with his life at this juncture, as that is a Fate of Buna on the Sour Guts. Solid choice. Decent shot in there. Bone Giant's going to snipe out the Lord of Tzeentch. Gets a little bit of poke on him here and there. We still have Chosen of the Gods firing up and over to help out these guys who are currently getting shot by the Fate of Buna. Just trying to get them low enough that Demonic Disability takes them out. Searing Doom onto the Tomb King's front line, but it's not really going to matter. Tzeentch's front line is winning, but not nearly fast enough to mitigate the disaster that is happening elsewhere on the map. Sour Guts fade away as the Doom Knights dive the Chosen of the Gods. Tomb Guard with Halberds are going to try and peel. They won't be able to peel for much, but still get decent damage out, and the Sporkle Stalkers helping is plenty. Doom Knights get pushed away. Balance of power shifting very far in the Tomb King's favor, and I don't disagree at all. Nushapti summon in the middle of all these infantry will probably end the game as they just show up here and start swinging for the fences, plus the balance of power increase they get from putting a summon on the field. It's probably too much for Tzeentch to recover from. Tzeentch is going to counter the balance of power shift, though, by putting their own Chaos Spawn down on the field. So now the summon doesn't matter as much, but the leadership debuff of the Ushapti being all spooky and stuff is going to push away a lot of things. Necrotech's getting a little low. Has he used any of his restores yet? Yeah, he still has 1. Okay. Whenever he has a restore, he should use it on the Bone Giant just for balance of power to make an expensive unit that much healthier. And just end the game off army losses a little faster. Probably what he could do. I don't think he's in any danger of losing this game. Like, he's just too far ahead. Is there anything that can 1v1 a Bone Giant? Yeah. Yeah. Dwarven Bolt Throwers can for sure. I don't think Little Grom can after all the nerfs. Yeah. I think that's about it. Basic Empire cannons do fine into Bone Giants. Dwarven cannons too. They won't win it, but you're talking about cost effectiveness. Because if you want to do 1-for-1 on gold, you can take 2 cannons versus 1 Bone Giant. So 1 cannon will trade more than effectively. Because it'll lose the fight, but it's trades up. So, yeah. Tzeentch? I think the opposite's true. I think a Bone Giant trades effectively into Tzeentch. Like, Tzeentch will win it, but he's so much more expensive that he's not going to win it by enough to make that worthwhile. Bone Giant, Chosen of the Gods, Hyro Titan, and Archon getting the exact... Wow. Hyro Titan and Archon getting the exact same damage value. That's kind of interesting. For Sven's Spear, unfortunately, he just didn't have the tools to deal with a Hyro Titan, unironically. There were just too many big constructs for him to deal with. His Changebringers got shut down immediately. Bye, Wicked. Grom can't? Yeah, I haven't seen that artillery duel since Grom was, like, cray-cray OP. Okay, if I remember correctly, I have 2 more people I'm trying to find. Angel. And there's Pratu. Some High Elves. Some Norska. Angel. I just want to remember the other person. Corvus Glaive, yeah. Okay, we were looking for the second Corvus game earlier. There it is. Joyboy versus Corvus. Tomb Kings versus Norska. Cool. I'd rather cast that than Vampire Counts Dwarves. Vampire Counts Dwarves can eat a chode. Joyboy! I don't know if we've cast him either. Maybe we missed him, but now we haven't. Joyboy on the Tomb Kings with Cetra! Yeah! Buffed Cetra, let's go! Versus Corvus Glaive on Norska. Norska giving it their 3rd shot of the night to try and get themselves a win on the board, and Corvus sticking to his roots and not picking a mage ever. He never picks mage. He plays Khorne, he plays Dwarves, but even when he plays a faction that has mages, he won't take one. I don't know why, but he won't. It's just kind of his thing. So for Corvus versus Joyboy, hi Cash, hope you're doing well. For Joyboy, we have some Tomb Guard, Skeleton Spearmen on the secondary line, but the Tomb Guard and Skeleton Warriors are mixed in the front. We do have a Necropolis Knight with Halberd. They were buffed. Chosen the Gods, 2 Sporkle Stalkers, Cetra and his Kitty Cat, who was buffed. And then some Carrion. Okay, so a couple buffed things. For Norska, we have 3 Marauder Horsemen throwing axes, 2 Norska Moorhounds. We have a Frost Worm. Ooh, oh sorry, a Chaos Frost Dragon. Never forget that I stole its fucking name. And then a bunch of Marauders, Grey Opens, Norscan Ice Trolls, and Wulfric the Wanderer on his Mammoth, buffed. So it's buffed Mammoth versus buffed Kitty Cat and Necropolis Knights with Halberds. Dogs trying to dive in on the back line of the Tomb Kings, but dogs just don't have a lot to do in this matchup. I generally don't take any dog unit versus the Tomb Kings except for Fleshhounds of Khorne. But it's just because, like, the Tomb Kings ranged type units are not weak to dogs at all. You can see they just killed the dogs. Cetra took a fight that was ill-advised. Now he's trying to get away from Wulfric on his Mammoth. Wulfric is faster, but Wulfric loses the plot and kind of just walks around. There's Hunter of Champions, reducing Cetra's speed down to 17 because he was frostbitten at the time. And Wulfric is still trying to take this fight. Cat versus Elephant. Cat versus Elephant. Elephant still trying to figure his shit out. Never mind, he charges straight into the Skeleton Warriors and he gets distracted. We don't get the fight that we wanted. Meanwhile, the Chaos Frost Dragon is going to land on Sporkle Stalkers. And the other Sporkle Stalkers could probably shoot him. I don't know why he just lost his attack orders, but he did, and he landed in front of them. There we go. Now he's starting to move again. The Norscan front line should dominate the Tomb King's front line. Should. But we'll see. I mean, he doesn't have a caster. It's not like there's Burning Head to support them or anything. There is Seafang. Write down some Tomb Guards. So he picked the right target. He didn't just go down any skeleton. And the Marauder Horsemen are back in the fight. The Chaos Frost Dragon is doing some good disruption. We'll see how long it lasts. If it can buy enough time for the front line of Norska to get through the Tomb Kings, then it'll be fine. If it just dies on its own and the Tomb Kings can still support their front line anyway, then it's a bit of a wash, I'm afraid. Wulfric has not been able to find Cetra, really, so he just turns around and fights Tomb Guard instead, which is okay, I guess. I would prefer him stick to the plot and try and get try and get Cetra. Sporkle Stalkers are dying as the Chaos Frost Dragon still tries to distract. Throwing X's are also helping a lot with the damage. Kitty Cat is back. Kitty Cat's not sure he wants to come up here. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Kitty Cat's here. Who's this good kitty cat? Who's this nice boy? Wulfric is T-posing, though he has done a lot of work onto Cetra whenever he feels like attacking. Cetra's already down to like half HP and Wulfric is full. But I don't imagine that'll be the case once all these range units refocus up onto Wulfric. Carrying her in the distance, having finished chase something off, they could come back soon. And the Tomb King's front line is starting to run out of gas, but they did their job. They held for so long, the back line secured itself. And now these Halberd Knights, Sporkle Stalkers, Ushopti Great Bows can all move up and start shooting at Wulfric or shooting at the Norskan Ice Trolls. They can really do anything they want. Cetra is taking an ill-advised fight against Wulfric. Wulfric is a far better duelist, even without his buffs, and doesn't even have the buffs pop right now. You're Frostbitten, Cetra. If he has Hunter of Champions, he can slow you down to 17 speed again and catch you, but it looks like Cetra's actually going to get away. The Frostbite wears off very quickly. And Mammoth Wulfric is back at it again, trying to chase down that kitty cat. Moocat, is your big brother winning? Overall, yeah. Yeah, I'd say the cat's winning. Chosen of the Gods, take care of these guys while Seafang does some good damage to the Tomb Guard. It's not enough to save those Marauders. Cetra slowed down to 37 speed. Wulfric catches up to him easily. Can he get a swing in? He does, and he applies that Frostbite. Why didn't Frostbite apply? Hello? Hello? 40% physical resistance. Wulfric does not deal magic damage. Cetra will be able to get away. The slow wears off, and Cetra is off to the races, running back again. Shady's back. Bump, bump, bump. Tell a friend. In the back line, Tomb King still defending themselves. Sporkle Stalkers still have a lot of ammunition. Where did the Halberd Knights go? There they are. Way over there. Necropolis Knights with Halberds trying to chase down these Martyr Horse and throwing X's. Right now, they're just having a peaceful coexistence, and as soon as I say it, it ends. How do Familiars work after last patch? Familiars are pretty good. Familiars are pretty good, my friend. Now comes the key moment. Can the Tomb King's backline finally repay the rest of the army for all the time they bought them? We kind of need everyone to turn and focus fire Cetra down. Wulfric down. Cetra gives himself more physical resistance and starts to run again. Frostbite should be slowing him down. Wulfric doesn't have it. I swore he had Frostbite, but I guess it only gets applied by Seafang. Weird. I just assumed Wulfric had it on his melee attack. I'm dumb. I guess I'm dumb. Sporkle Stalker is going to go zone away Wulfric. Bounce power is 50-50. I just don't see it. This feels like the Tomb Kings are chilling. I guess it's all of Norska's infantry. Norska has a lot of infantry left. And what happened to you? What happened to you? Oh, God. The Necropolis Knights were like full HP a second ago, and now they're half dead. That's horrible. Norskan Ice Trolls get hit with a Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance, but they're fighting Tomb Guard. The Tomb Guard should be able to hold. And Cetra gets in there with the Eyes of the Desert. Okay, Chosen of the Gods need to support this. They are turning to fire, and their spread shot does a lot of damage versus high body count, high body models like mammoths. So that, plus the Sporkle Stalker, should be able to do good damage to Wulfric while he sits in the Eyes of the Desert and tries to fight his way out. Yeah, there we go. There's the damage I was looking for. Wulfric goes down to half HP right in front of us. As the Sporkle Stalkers and these Ushopti Great Bows make him pay for all that he's done. Cetra's running around routing some stuff, so are the Necropolis Knights. Now it's looking like GG. I was wondering, I was like, man, Wulfric, I feel like he should be dead by now, but I guess he's doing fine, and the range units actually paid attention to him, and he just fell apart. Ushopti Summon is out behind the Marauder Spearmen. And as soon as Wulfric routs, army losses will hit. He's at 2 leadership. We are 2 leadership away from a Norska loss. There it is. And there they go. 0-3 for Norska. Joy Boy, good win. Good win. Tomb Guard held for quite a while. Sporkle Stalkers, Necropolis Knights, and the Ushopti Great Bows did very, very well. For Corvus Glaive, Wulfric was trying to carry. His front line did okay. But the Frost Dragon didn't get much done. Dogs also sucked. Are you winning, Norska? No. I believe we only have to cast Angel now before we've cast everybody. Let's take a look for an Angel game. Tomb King Skaven? We've cast a lot of Tomb Kings recently. I remember there was one up here for Angel. Kislev Lizardmen. Sure. We'll play some Kislev. Well, we'll not play. We'll cast some Kislev. Kislev versus Lizardmen. Wait, Archangel? I thought this was regular Angel. No! No! I'm out. I'm out. I can't do it. It's illegal. I know, I saw it, I saw it. There's real Angel. Dark Elves versus Slaanesh. I got it. Nolan, son of Cain, versus Angel on Slaanesh. Nolan, son of Cain, on the right faction for being the son of Cain. Alright, for the Son of Cain, we have Slaanesh's Harvesters, Doomfire Warlock, ROR, frontline of Witch Elves and Bleak Swords, a couple Dark Rider Peter Crossbows, more Doomfire Warlocks, Cold One Knights, and Malekith up on his dragon. On the other side, we have Chaos Furies of Slaanesh, a frontline of Marauders and Demonettes, a Herald of Slaanesh with her Rampage, Lash, and then her Summon and Hysterical Frenzy. We have the buffed Fiends and Exalted Demonettes, including the Bringers of Beguilement. Fiends are very fun right now. And they're quite good. I don't think they're like OP, but they are quite good after their buffs. Front lines are colliding. Witch Elves slamming down some devoted Marauders. Meanwhile, the Slaanesh's Harvesters are getting rear charged by Chaos Furies of Slaanesh and frontal charged by Demonettes. It's going very poorly for them. They need to throw out their Soul Stealer for their self-healing, but also to get all that damage out, but they really need to get that healing in before they rout. Fiends also getting charged in, helping out the Herald. They are going to stab their way through the Dark Elf front line with ease. So Peter Crossbows are trying to get a little bit of vengeance out. Malekith chucks down his Soul Stealer. Slaanesh's Harvesters still haven't used theirs quite yet. Malekith gets surrounded by Chaos Furies. I don't think that's a fight he wants. Their armor piercing is very, very high, and they got a rear charge onto him. Slaanesh's Harvesters still trying to fight their way free of the Demonettes. And they got orders to move, so that means he clicked on them recently. I wonder if he bothers to give them a spell command. Another Soul Stealer is out, plus a Doombolt. I think that was them. Yeah, they're getting Soul Stealer healed right now, so they waited and used their Soul Stealer on the enemy Lord, actually doing a lot of Lord sniping over here, and hitting some powerful units, so in the end it worked out for the Slaanesh's Harvesters. They do need to run away, though. They need to get a better fight than the one they're currently in. And Slaanesh punched through that front line rather quickly. Dark Elves are overall up in the balance of power, and I don't disagree. I'm just saying Slaanesh killed a lot of Bleak Swords quite quickly. But Malekith is thinking about landing in to save his Dark Rider Peter Crossbows. They get rampaged into the Furies and the Fiends, but Malekith is here. Doomfire Warlock's getting a side charge, and this could be a very good engagement for the Dark Elves. Going to snipe out the Herald of Slaanesh and maybe take the Fiends with her. That is a big loss for Slaanesh. Elsewhere, Slaanesh is doing very well. The balance of power is in the Dark Elves' favor because Malekith is literally full HP and Slaanesh just lost their Lord. But if you take the Lords out of it, Slaanesh would actually be winning. Chaos Furies are out just before the Herald dies. She gets off one last summon, but without her, her Chaos Furies of Slaanesh just don't have the leadership to stick around. Demonettes and Exalted Demonettes also starting to look a little bit worse for wear. Malekith needs to get back up into the sky. Uses breath attacks in the Exalted Demonette ROR that's right here. That could just end the game. Doomfire Warlocks charge straight through them. Their magic damage and very high melee attack will help quite a lot versus the Bringers of Beguilement. Malekith even Power of Darkness is himself, taking a little bit of damage just for that higher Winds of Magic generation. This Chaos Fury is a summon, remember, it's fake, as that Demonette fades away. He does Soul Stealer, an Exalted Demonette, and Fiends who are both on top of each other. That is good stuff. And where is his Breath Attack going to go? He was about to Breath Attack, and then he gets Rampage to the ground. Could this be a Slaanesh comeback? Very unlikely, but This is their only chance. Exalted Demonettes and Fiends all going to team up on Malekith. We know his Soul Stealer's on cooldown because he literally just used it, and this is their chance. Dark Rod and Peter Crossbows, very wounded, just charging to try and buy Malekith anytime at all. Malekith's down to half HP and falling. Melee attack and melee defense getting reduced by the Slaanesh passives that are being applied to him. And the Distance Bringers Beguilement are absolutely fisting Golden Knights. Chaos Fury Summon fades away. Malekith throws out a Doombolt to try and save himself. One of the Slaanesh's Harvesters does. Or the Doomfire Warlocks, whatever. Soulblight is also down. The Doomfire Warlocks just trying to help Malekith wherever they can, but he is below half HP and still falling. The Fiends don't seem to be letting him go anytime soon. As he starts to run away, he's not going to get very far, and the Fiends reapply their debuffs to him. Meanwhile, the Bringers of Beguilement getting attacked by the Doomfire Warlocks in the distance. They're getting so low on HP and leadership, but they will continue fighting for now. For now. Malekith still getting hunted down. Can Slaanesh actually do it? Demonettes getting killed off by the Demonic Instability crumbling. Even an ROR can't hold out forever without a Lord. Malekith still pursued by the Fiends. It looks like another Soul Stealer is going to come out from him. That will heal him up and obviously do really good damage, but... Ooh, he cancels it with Stand Your Ground. Not that that's that big of a deal. It's not like he can get knocked over or something, so he's just going to cast it anyway. Narcissism silences him! But the Soul Stealer casts anyway. The silence does not cancel something you started casting. It only stops you from casting anything new. Very unfortunate there for Slaanesh, as they're still trying to snipe out Malekith. And actually, considering the damage he's taking right now, I imagine if he hadn't been healed up, he might have gotten close to routing. But it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. The Doomfire Warlocks are enough to push Slaanesh over the edge. GG. Dark Elves win. Nolan! Son of Cain with a win over Angel. Regular Angel, not Archangel. Witch Elves did fine. Bleak Swords got rolled. Doomfire Warlocks both did very well. Golden Knights did okay. Dark Red Pure Crossbows got murdered. For Angel and Slaanesh, we had Devoted Marauders and Exalted Demonettes doing pretty darn well. Furies and Fiends did alright as well. The main thing was just their Herald got sniped out pretty fast. Fiends almost carried. They really tried. Alright, so we cast that game. I know who won, but I'm not going to congratulate them just yet, because then that would be spoilers. But I have now cast everybody at least once that sent me something. Right? Right. We can move on to semifinals and finals, which are all done. So 3 games left guaranteed. After that, we'll just take a look through and see if there's anything interesting. Game 1 of the semifinals. Hayseed versus Requito. Hayseed versus Requito. Khorne versus the Vampire Counts. I see no Mortis Engine. How do Trima and Dorothy feel now with their change? Really good. Really good. Solid. I still wouldn't say they're like the must pick in every matchup, but there are certain matchups where Dorothy is just factually the best Lord. And I think, this is my hot take on Conquest, Dorothy is always the right Lord. Dorothy is so good at Conquest. You just put him on the point, and anyone who comes near you takes forever to kill him. His Flock of Doom and Sword of Jaith combos are nutty. And then if you focus your entire Wood Elf build on like killing any range the opponent's going to bring, if you knock out that range, Dorothy can carry the rest of the game for you easily. Anyway, for this semifinal game between Hayseed and Requito, both of these players went 4-0 through the basic bracket. No one in semifinals and finals has lost a game yet. Marauders of Khorne, Exalted Bloodletters, Minotaurs of Khorne, and Skirmish Cav supporting Scarbrand. On the other side, for Requito's Vampire Counts, we have Dire Pack, ROR Dire Wolves, 2 Vargeist, Manfred von Karstein with Spirit Leech, Gaze of Nagash, no, that's Van Hell's Dance Macabre, Van Hell's Dance Macabre, Raise Ged, Invocation of Heck, and then we have the Stearnsman Graveguard, a bunch of Corpse Cards with Unholy Lodestones, Zombies, and Blood Knights. Pretty straightforward stuff from the Vampire Counts. The frontline fight is going in earnest as a result of Bloodletters power through zombies, and unfortunately for the vampire counts, their zombies' extremely high model count is really bad for them versus Khorne, because it gives Khorne a ton of armor passive. Skarbrand also throws out a rampage right away, bringing Manfred down to the ground. So Skarbrand himself hasn't been able to punish it too much just yet. Now Vargeist are also committing to the fight. Khorne legitimately already has about 400 kills. He might have a Sword of Khorne. Wrathful Reaper is out, rampaging Skarbrand, but giving him a bunch more damage. And Horn of Khorne is down to give everyone in there more melee attack as Manfred and the boys try and stop him. Now Banhill's Dance Macabre is cast from the other side, so everybody around here has a ton of melee attack. No one has any melee defense. Everyone's taking damage. Speaking of everyone taking damage, the Minotaurs of Khorne are already out of here. One of them has routed, the other one's getting close. Skarbrand's down to half HP, and the vampire counts are way ahead. We honestly need a Sword of Khorne down already. Sword of Khorne, like, right there. Could do a lot of damage, we'll see. Skarbrand continues to try and fight it out. I don't know if he has his rampage to hold him in place. I don't see the sword getting cast just yet, as the vampire counts have made an unholy blob that really needs to be punished by the tier 3 army ability, but like I said, I don't think he has it just yet. Which is insane. He's already gotten so many kills. 700 kills on the board. Skarbrand hits a corpse cart while he's being spirit leeched and side charged by Manfred. Surrounded by Blood Knights and Vargeist, he's not having a good time. More Minotaurs are trying to support him. He does take out the corpse cart. And I keep hitting spacebar just to look for the Sword of Khorne's little summon thingy. It's easier for me to see when there's other colors around. Skarbrand charges over to the other corpse cart. Content to let Manfred and the Vargeist fuck off if they want to. Still have some Marauders, still have some Skirmish Cav, and Army Losses is already going to hit, honestly. And no Sword of Khorne. I'm a little disappointed. Somehow Khorne got all those kills and didn't manage to get a tier 3 army ability. And that is a quick win for the Vampire Counts and for Rakido. Does Rakido go to the finals? But who will join him? For Hayseed, Skarbrand got some decent value. His Minotaurs did not. His Marauders with dual weapons did not get anything done. Neither did his Skirmish Cav. Inside of Rakido, Manfred got a lot of good value out. Graveguard did fine. Blood Knights did very well. Dire Pact did very well. Vargeist actually didn't do too much. Alright, if you have the fastest eyes in the West, then you saw who makes it to finals, but in case of that, we know Rakido's up there. It is Del Duca Sabudo versus Joyboy! Joyboy! Kislev for Del Duca versus Joyboy's Lizardmen. Tehenowin's back. I don't know why people play Tehenowin, but they have been. I don't think he got any buffs on the recent patch. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know after the patch a bunch of people played Tehenowin and a bunch of people lost some games. We'll see if Joyboy can change that pattern. For Kislev, we have a front line of armored Kossars backed up by Kislevite warriors. Then we have the Wolfhearts, Ukshin Ambusher ROR, a bunch of Kossars, 2 Griffin legions, Kossovite Dervish, Little Grom, and an Ice Witch with Death Frost and Ice Sheet. On the other side, for the Lizardmen, Tehenowin, with only Flock of Doom as his only spell, a bunch of Skink Cohorts with Javelins, then Skink Skirmishers, Feral Cold Ones, Ripperdactyl Riders, Ancient Salamanders, and the Clawstone Hunters. A very simple Lizardman build, but almost everything on this roster that was brought has been nerfed in the last, 4 patches. So this Lizardman build, it's fighting against CA's will. Does Teeny Weenie get that with his mount? Yes. He gets the same buff as the Lizard mount did if he's on his Lizard mount. Obviously not on his Ripperdactyl. Jab Skinks are going to try and counterfire against Kislev, but they are far outgunned. And they immediately start to back off as Little Grom is already poking at the Ancient Salamander. It looks like the Lizardmen are going to try and kite this. 1 second. Dog's barking. Hit. Oh, boy. Somebody knocked on our door and had to have me answer for a package, and Hazel got very upset. Did you get very upset that someone came to our house? Are you stupid? Are you a little stupid? She's a little stupid. Okay, sorry about that. Bark, bark, bark. So Lizardmen are moving in. They're trying to kite a little bit with their ancient sallies, and they are trying to also move their Ripperdactyls in position. I'm just really worried about killing power. This Lizardman build feels like a lot of blockers, but what are you blocking for? I don't know. Maybe it's just the skinks. Maybe I hate skinks. I'm also a little worried that Kislev's just gonna kill him. They're just gonna be better at like literally everything. Flock of Doom plus Salamander shots plus Javelin shots doing a lot of damage to these Kislevite warriors. Elsewhere, the Kislevite warriors are pistol shooting sideways down these skink cohorts, which those guys don't love. The Ancient Salamander misses the Kossar Spears, but hits a Classified Dervish for a little bit of consolation prize. The kite continues. Little Grom versus the Salamanders. Little Grom is going to try and keep the Lizardmen honest, though he doesn't do nearly as much damage as he used to after the nerfs. Little Grom used to kind of delete things. Now he's just like, okay. Seen dog, where's cat? The cat has been on my lap twice during this stream, so don't you start with me, Mr. Man. Turtle Punch? I am sorry to hear that. Little Grom under attack by the Feral Cold Ones and Ripperdactyls, but Kossified Dervishes will get a rear charge on all this. I don't know why these guys had a net. Oh, it was because of the action to ambush or ROR. Gotcha. Griffin Legion gonna join the fight? Nope, more Dervishes. Where are the Griffin Legion? There they are. Now they're coming back as all of these Ripperdactyls pile up on top of each other. If every Kislevite archer in the area isn't firing at this blob of birds, then I don't know what they're doing. As Ripperdactyls try and peel off the wolf hearts to make sure they don't shoot at this blob of birds. Griffin Legion also charge in. Kossified Dervishes are already losing some stats. And the Griffin Legion actually also took a lot of damage, and they instead just go to charge as Ripperdactyls. But Lizardmen doing very well in this backline, which is surprising. Elsewhere, Griffin Legion was running down some skink skirmishers, now is retreating away from Feral Cold Ones. Lizardmen are up on the balance of power for now. Ripperdactyls taking a lot of damage in this fight, however. They are eventually beating the Kossified Dervishes, but it is at a cost. Feral Cold One's also falling back, and Tehenowin gets Death Frosted. Frosty Frosty. He's a little chilly. He probably should be diving the Ice Witch Vice right now. He is a hybrid lord. He's a combat caster, so having him just sit back and cast spells is probably not going to be super cost effective. He's going to need to get in there. While the Griffin Legion take down more skinks, ride through these guys, rout them off. Kislev is behind on the balance of power. Still. Closton Hunters fall back, fall away from all the archers shooting at them, so do the other guys. And Tehenowin takes a nasty shot from his own Salamander. I swear I just saw it hit him and do decent damage. Where's the cat? Cat's behind me on the floor next to the dog. Salamander's still getting good damage out here and there. Feral Cold One's going to get charged by Griffin Legion, and then that glorious charge debuff should give them enough leadership countering to rout them. Death Frost again poking down to Tehenowin, and Ripperdactyls finally dive the Caster Lord. We'll see how much that does, as the Flock of Doom Overcast also does a lot of damage to the people around, and Little Grom's still trying to stop these Salamanders from shooting, because they've been shooting him all game, while shooting at stuff around him all game. Kislev's pulling ahead on the balance of power as more and more skinks rout away, Ripperdactyls slowly suffering the attrition of time. The Ice Witch took maybe a third of her HP from that charge, but it's not going to be enough to like actually kill her or put her under any threat. Little Grom's still free and clear. And the Salamanders are trying, man. They're trying to put this whole game on their backs. Whoa. Hit the Griffin Legion by accident. Kenny would like to show you the magic plates he found. Ripperdactyls on the ground briefly, but they're going to get charged by Griffin Legion and taken out. Yeah. Bomb. I thought the Griffin Legion Glorious Charge had a leadership debuff. Units take a leadership penalty as if they had been attacked in the flank, yeah. So they get pushed away. Even Shatter. The Kloster Hunters pop their Toad Rage for extra damage, and they are getting a lot of damage out onto Little Grom and the Griffin Legion, but all the while they are getting shot, and they will just slowly get pushed away to death. Ancient Salamanders, 7 shots left, 11 shots left, and about 1.5 HP bars between them. Little Grom might live through the Clostodon attack. It looks like he will, but he's so low. I wonder if even the Salamanders could fire a couple shots and kill him. Not saying they should, just wondering if they would even do enough damage. Another Flock of Doom is out onto 3 Kislevite infantry. Good, slow attrition damage, but a Death Frost, speaking of attrition damage. 10 seconds left on the Death Frost. I think he'll be okay. I know he'll survive. I don't know if he'll rout or not, but Tenwin has some pretty nutso leadership, so I don't think he'll die. Then again, Little Grom could aim 1 shot at him and kill him off. -1 leadership. I was incorrect by 1 leadership about whether or not he would stay in the fight. Kislev is very far ahead on the balance of power now, as only the Salamanders remain for the Lizardmen. Tenwin's trying to rally. He now has 10 leadership, so he should be back any second now, but for now he's still routing off the map. Kloster Hunters dive in on Little Grom. They should beat up on Little Grom significantly, but they're just too wounded. They do rout anyway from being shot at by these little Kossars. And the Ancient Sallies, every shot brings them closer to defeat, as their ammunition is probably worth more for the balance of power than whatever they're going to be shooting at. Kossars turn to fight. Salamander charges in, and this should be the game-winning volley. Oh no, he got a good shot onto the Ice Witch, keeping the balance of power at bay for now. There's a nice Flock of Doom as well. It's going to take 1 more volley for army losses. Ah, sad. It's a Death Frost that'll send it. I was close, but wrong. Del Duca Saburo gonna make it to finals. Playing Kislev and Empire, 2 very strong factions. We'll see. Can he win the whole thing on OP Giga-busted factions? Or will Riquito defeat him? It is Bretonnia for the finals. Not Kislev and Empire. And I honestly wouldn't put Bretonnia in like the Giga-busted category. I think they're strong. I think they're S tier for sure if you like abuse healing properly and stuff. But I think there's 3 factions that are better than them. Kislev, Empire, and Dwarves are all better than Bretonnia right now. In my opinion. Riquito going to take him on with the vampire counts. Riquito not giving up on this D tier faction. I'm a vampire counts hater. It is so well known that I think they need some serious buffs. But Riquito's out here repping the boys, repping the lads. Manfred von Karstein, backed up by Vargeist and Felbats. We've seen that a lot today. Though he keeps switching up what spells he takes on Manfred depending on the matchup, which I like. 5 spells here: Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, Zombie Summon, Invocation Heck, and Van Hell's Dan's Macabre. We also have 2 Corpse Carts, Unholy Lodestone on the ground, 1 Blood Knight, and then 2 Graveguard, one of which is the Sternmen, some Spearmen, some Zombies. On the other side, for the Bretonians, 5 Peasant Mobs, 4 Spearmen at Arms, 4 Peasant Bowmen with Fire Arrows, a Damsel of Life with Regrowth and Earthblood, Royal Hippogriff Knights, Pegasus Knights, Grail Knights, more Pegasus Knights, and Alberic de Bordelot with his Braid of Bordelot. Cool, cool. I have 4 pings. Are any of them relating to this tournament right now? No. Alright, cool. Just making sure nobody was having issues. Here we go. Manfred just dodging around a little bit, wasting the archer's time while his zombies close with the peasants. Peasants with pickaxe and pole and cudgel. I love how the zombies are running away. That's funny. Like, I know they got orders to run away, but it just looks like the zombies are like, oh, never mind, fuck that. Hi, Rhino Fortunato. Yeah. But anyway, Graveguard charging up. Graveguard are uncontested in the infantry fight. Nothing on the Bretonnian side can deal with them in the infantry game, so it is about if Royal Hippogriff Knights and some of the other elite knights can take some time and kill the Graveguard. But honestly, the 2 Graveguard here could kill every single melee infantry one at a time in this game. The peasants will do nothing against them. Vargeists and Manfred and Blood Knights just hanging out. They want the Bretonnians to commit first. They're trying to use their superior infantry here, because their infantry are going to win the fight. We've established that. They're waiting for Grail Knights or something to engage, and then they can counter-engage. And they're also trying to dodge a bowman. So now, under the cover of the peasant bowman, the Vargeists aren't in position to stop these Grail Knights. The Grail Knights charge in for free on the Stearnsmen and get a bit of damage out. So the Vampire Counts want to bait the Bretonnians into overcommitting and then punishing them, and the Bretonnians just want to shoot at the vampires freely, and currently they're doing that. Like, these 4 peasant archers are completely uncontested, and they've already taken half health off both Vargeists. Your Rakido, by the way? I see, sir. Well done getting to finals. Good job with the 5-0 on the day. Both the players have gone 5-0. One who goes 6-0 wins. Peasant mob still holding back zombies for now. The Vampire Counts have fallen back. The Hippogriff Knights did maybe possibly overextend, and some of the archers are wandering into melee. Now could be the time the Vampire Counts need to actually punish the problem. But the Vargeists have taken so much damage from this long poke phase, and the Blood Knights can't join the air fight whatsoever. They might want to countercharge these Pegasus Knights who are on the ground, but I think they're worried about getting countercharged by Grail Knights. They will catch some of the Pegasus Knights on the ground, get a little bit of damage out, but a lot of those models took off, and yes, it was all a bait as the Grail Knights come sailing in. As soon as the Blood Knights committed, the Grail Knights are here. Now, fortunately for the Blood Knights, the Stearnsmen were standing right in the way, so the Grail Knights don't get a full charge onto the Blood Knights and do get stopped in place. Pegasus Knights and Hippogriff Knights trying to help out Alberic. And they're fighting on top of Skeleton Spears, which normally would be bad, but they're taking out the Vargeists due to all the Peasant Bowman support from earlier that we established. The Vargeists are so low, there's not a lot of armor piercing left here to really threaten these guys. It's a big overcasted Invocation Hack, tries to keep the Vargeists alive. It's not looking like it's going to work, but oh boy, they're trying. And the Hippogriff Knights get a Regrowth instead. Regrowth is just Invocation Hack's older brother. Manfred's doing some pretty good work in here. Standing on top of all the spears is also very good. And the Blood Knights loop back around to punish these guys. Really big play here from the Vampire Counts trying to stay in this game. Things were starting to get away from them a little bit. The Grail Knights on the far side are healthy, but they're zoned away from the big fight that matters by a bunch of Graveguard and stuff. They do need to find a way to try and push through there without losing too much. Both Pegasus Knights are very low. And the Hippogriff Knights, after getting a regrowth, are feeling just fine. Overall, a winning engagement for the Vampire Counts, but the game is so far going to Bretonnia. Vampire Counts lost both of their Vargeists, so now for Knight-killing potential, they have just Manfred and the Blood Knights, and neither of their Vargeists are still around. For Bretonnia, they lost 2 Pegasus Knights, with value-wise is a decent trade for 2 Vargeists. Like, you know, Bretonnia should be feeling bad about that, but they don't. Their Hippogriff Knights are more important, their Grail Knights are more important, and the Vargeists were more important to the Vampire Counts than the Pegasus Knights were to this Bretonnia build. Gold value aside. So we still have some Peasant Bowmen out and about, poking around. Alberic is also vibing. But as we said before, these Graveguard, even with occasional Knight support, they're still just pushing back the Bretonnian front lines. Bretonnia is down to an archer and a half. Manfred throws out a Spear Leech on Pegasus Knights. I guess fuck that Pegasus Knight in particular. And he routes it off yet again. And we continue on. Corpse Cart is the target of Alberic. Manfred is nearby, but what does he do? Still has... Ooh, he still has all 3 of his breath attacks. He has to use those. There's only real shot against the Grail Knights. Grail Knights get charged by Blood Knights. Now if they fight back... Is that a Fate of Beano? I think it's Fate of Beano. If they fight back, they were just going to get breath attacked, so it was a lose-lose situation for them. Hippogriff Knights are picking off the Graveguard right now, but Manfred's going to dive in on the healing caster, gets a big charge attack on her while the Blood Knights chase off the Grail Knights. Grail Knights are trying to get healed up. They do get a regrowth just before the damsel routes away from Manfred. Now the Hippogriff Knights are breaking away from their fight with the Graveguard to try and get back here to save the damsel. Regrowth is going to heal up those Grail Knights just a bit as Blood Knights charged up after them. The only peasant support nearby are Peasant Bowmen, but oof, nasty rear charge from the Hippogriff Knights. I think this is the end of the Blood Knights. While Manfred takes out Bretonnia's healing, that is a huge win individually, but I'm not sure how it ends up mattering. Man, that lady is such a self-sacrificer. She regrowthed and earthblooded, both while being attacked by Manfred, just to save her buddies. So the Grail Knight got a little bit of healing, Hippogriff Knight got a little bit of healing, and in comes a breath attack from Manfred, then he immediately needs to get back after that lady, because if he just lets her get away, then all this was for nothing. Nice breath attack. Oh no, he is coming all the way over here. She's going to rally and heal herself, mark my words, and then it'll have been for nothing. You'll trade your Blood Knights for death. Manfred gets attacked in the sky by the Hippogriff Knights, and Alberic takes a bunch of damage, gets kind of caught, kind of netted, trying to get away, but he won't be able to get away. The damsel should rally. -1 leadership. She should come back. The Vampire Counts with no Blood Knights, with no Vargeist. I don't know how they killed the Hippogriff Knights. That's a damsel in distress. Yeah, they left her, though. They didn't play to the meme. Manfred going to take one final fight next to a corpse cart, giving melee attack and vigor buffs to everybody around, plus healing himself, and he's fighting on top of spears. Don't run away. Honestly, this is your best chance. You just have to fight here. I know it sucks, but, like, this is all you can do. He charges out towards the Grail Knight, but that takes him off of his spear support. Now he has no one blocking for him, and he's just getting eaten alive. He starts to try and path back to his spears, but the Grail Knights are opting out anyway, and Manfred just took a whole heaping amount of damage. Baldfred von Manstein. Yes. Manny is chilling with Graveguard, spears, and a corpse cart. Still has some zombies. Sternsmen are crumbling away in the distance. And another Spirit Leech is out onto the Grail Knights. Surprisingly, the damsel did not rally in time, so Bretonnia ends up with no healing whatsoever left. It's not like this is Lewin, where Alberic de Bordelot could heal himself up. He relies on casters for that. Fire Archers shooting at Manfred, just trying to tax his HP. He is the last thing that really matters on this roster. Whew, I don't know what he could do. Alberic and Hippogriffs were trying to charge Manfred. Now that he's on the ground, they might abandon it, but no, it looks like they're going for it. Oh, now they abandon it. And the archers are still firing downhill into skeleton spears now, going for the more guaranteed value since Manfred keeps dodging them. But it's going to be a slow bleed to death. Good Spirit Leech onto the Grail Knights. But as more time goes on, more and more of the undead meet the unholy end of Fire Arrow. Hippogriffs and Alberic dive back onto Manfred. Manfred has no recourse for the situation, tries to retreat through his Graveguard, though he does still take a lot of damage. Invocation Heck going to heal him up all the way to his heal cap, though that's coming in faster than he would like. Alberic pushes through the Graveguard to still do a lot of damage to him, and the Peasant Bowmen are getting a lot of damage on him while he's trying to heal, putting him out on fire as well, which is brutal. And the Hippogriff Knights are in. 4,900 HP for them. No healing is still important, but if they have to take his fight on spears, that could eventually do some damage to them. It only has done about 200 so far, and then they're going to opt out. Balance power shifted against the vampire counts. Is that a breath attack onto the archer? Oh, I guess that's fine. Hippogriff Knights don't take a lot of damage from breath attack, and he's worried more about killing his own spearmen, which he really needs at this stage, and the Grail Knights are almost dead. So I guess I get it. It just seemed a little weird. Manny Manfred still has one breath attack, but Alberic takes a good chunk off of him just as he lands in the corpse cart. This is probably the death of Manfred and the death of the Vampire Count's hopes in this game. Fire Arrow's just going to poke him down as he runs. Fellbats fade away. Manfred's at 861 HP and almost heal capped. Fire Arrows will continue to poke at him as he runs. Alberic, are you faster? 100 speed versus 81. Yeah, you're faster. You're faster. Hippogriffs catch up to him. Get a little chunk off. He's going to start crumbling. And he'll die. Manfred doesn't deserve to die like this. No. Flap. 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 GG. Del Duca Sabado will be our winner for today. Well done, sir. Well done. Rakito with 3,000 value on Manfred von Karstein. Skeleton Spears did alright. Graveguard did alright. Blood Knights didn't do great. Neither did the Vargas, unfortunately. No side for Del Duque. Alberic did pretty well. Peasants did not. Peasant Bowman did fantastically amazing. Pegasus Knights got rolled, and then the Grail Knights and Hippogriff Knights did amazing work. Just amazing stuff. Okay, where are you? Ring. There we go. Drop my wedding ring. Don't do that. What universe does Wolfric have Frostbite? It was from Seafang, and I saw it applied while he was in melee with someone, so I thought he had Frostbite. But Seafang applies it, which I forgot. Okay, so I have to congratulate the winner. Give him his Bone Ripper roll. And then I am getting tired. So let's take a look through the replays. See if there's anything we absolutely must cast. Otherwise, we will call it a day. Norska versus High Elves. We've gotten a lot of Norska today. Skip. Wood Elves versus Khorne. Got a lot of Khorne today. Skip. I want to cast that. I want to cast that one. I don't want to cast that. I don't want to cast it. Oh, but it is a Hydra and a Soul Stealer caster and Blackguard versus Lizards. All right, we might cast that. We might. I don't want to cast Kislev. Fuck Kislev. Skaven versus Warriors of Chaos. I want to cast Balakor Cycle, charging through some fools. Not that it'll be a bad game. I'm looking for stuff that looks fantastic. Otherwise, I'm too tired to cast it right now. I'm so sleepy. You have no idea. What is this? All right, that's a cast. That's a fucking cast. That's two sides of the same coin, so I'm just going to delete one. That's a cast. That's a cast. Is that 5 bloated corpses from Top Hut? He loves his 5 bloated corpses. Okay, he loses this shit so hard because there's Foot Hero Hammer, but you can't, like, I know, see, here's the thing, is I know he took 5 bloated corpses to bring me a smile and bring all of our viewers a smile, so I can't just not cast it, otherwise what was the fucking point? You know, you can't just do them like that. That's a Leithanar and kiting, trying to kite Crone Hellebron. You have to cast it. You have to. You can't not cast it. Norska, Norska, Norska. Norska versus Hero Hammer. No, I don't wanna cast that. You can't make me. So maybe think about that. Tzeentch versus Slaanesh. We've cast some of those type of games today, so let's just skip that. Codex. Ooh, that could be fun, but I think there's other fun things going on, and I don't have all the time in the world, lads. I already said no to that one, but from the other side, Hayseed versus Marcus Manlius. It does look pretty poggin. I'll keep it on the docket for now, and then we have more Vampire Coast, more Norska, and then we're done. All right, so out of these, do I have 8 replays left in me? Probably not, so let's cast them in order of interest, and we'll see when I just burn out. Okay, so we'll do the 5 bloated corpses, because he did it for you, and I can't just ignore him. But the Quaddle, I'm so upset. I'm doing my best. There's so many replays. There's so many. Hayseed in the words of Chaos versus Top Hot's Vampire Ghost. For the Vampire Coast, we have 5 bloated corpses, 3 shotgun boys, 4 deck droppers with bombers, Celestra Diaphon on foot with all of her spells. Bro, why? Top Hot, why does she have all of her spells? You don't need all the spells. 2 Sirens and 3 Handgunners. On the other side, for the Warriors of Chaos, we have Chaos Warhounds. We have Aecold Hellbrass, Sigvald the Magnificent, Chaos Sorcerer of Fire with Burning Head and Cascading Fire Cloak, then Marauders, the Mirror Guard, Chaos Warriors of Khorne with Halberds, and some Marauder Horsemen. Even themed with the faction. Yeah, Topot's a hero. That's why we couldn't skip it. Oh, there's some Morngulls over here. Hello. And a partridge in a pear tree. The coasts are gonna get so quickly fucking dominated. It's not even funny. But you can't leave Topot hanging. That's fucked up. And no one will say Human Boy is fucked up. The Marauder Horsemen are like, ooh, we see that. We are dodging that. As they run away. An unholy amount of gunfire makes the Sorcerer of Fire immediately rout. He does get out a quick Burning Head onto the hand cannons. Looks like he's gonna maybe get 2 of them nice and low. Ooh, a third? A handgun mob for me. Really good damage from the Burning Head. The Marauder Horsemen are still kiting around dealing with the Deck Dropper Bombers. As for the Bloated Corpses count, we still have 5 out of 5 alive. No Bloated Corpses have died in the making of this production. This one Bloated Corpse is going to start to run away from Sigvald. Sigvald's after him. Sigvald is getting shot in the back an awful lot for this, but he doesn't care because he's trying to run down a Bloated Corpse. Dun, 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 dun. Never mind, he runs away. Handgun mobs trying to shoot Siggy down. And he catches the corpse! And he catches the corpse. Bomber Bat's trying to kill off some of the Warriors of Chaos troops. Ooh, the Bloated Corpse did get a Marauder over there. That's something. Actually, the Marauder is cheaper than the Bloated Corpses, I believe. So it's kind of messed up, as I'm going to watch these Bloated Corpses. This one's going for a healthy Marauder. Good. It didn't go for the wounded one. You like that? Bump. Most of a Marauder has died. Salostra's under attack by Sigvald. Another Marauder just died. And this Bloated Corpse, is that routing Marauder going to accidentally touch him and ruin it? It is. Holy shit. It was not going for them. They ran into it and ruined that Bloated Corpse's day. Salostra, ooh, okay, I thought Salostra was doing that, but no, it's a Burning Head down the line. Actually does a lot of damage. Sigvald is really killing Salostra right now, but she goes for a Vangeist YOLO play into the Chaos Warriors with Halberds and the Marauders. Can they even dodge? It doesn't look like they can. Oh, so much damage. And then a Rotting Promethean summon. Salostra using all of her spells while she can, but Sigvald's actually taking a lot of damage, getting shot in the face by handgunners, and Salostra's holding for now. Sigvald's gonna fucking die, and she throws out another summon. That was 3 things back to back. I know the summon isn't a spell, so it doesn't take Winds of Magic, but still, damn, dude. As the damn Knights Errant get running out, I don't know where they're gonna go, but they're gonna try and find something to be doing. And the dogs are in to try and save Sigvald. Now, we still have one Bloated Corpse who's running around trying to figure out what to do with his life. He's going for the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. He dives onto him, gets a big old explosion. Does some decent damage. Those guys were already quite wounded. Now, for the Warriors of Chaos, we still have a very healthy Halberd. We still have Aecold, who's very healthy. A bunch of dogs. The dogs aren't going to matter that much. It looks like they're going to rout any second now. Yeah, they're just routing away. And we still have a bunch of Skirmish Cav, though, of mixed HP and mixed ammunition amounts. On the other side for the Vampire Coast, that's a summon, so it's not real. That's a summon, so it's not real. We have a full health Morngul that's been forgotten until now. We have some Deck Droppers with a good amount of HP, but not a lot of ammunition left. And one healthy Siren that's currently having a bad time fighting Aecold and a Burning Head. Fog of the Damned is out. Minus leadership, minus melee attack. But there's nothing really going on there right now, so the debuff won't matter as much as a lot of the Vampire Coast fades away. Sigvald refuses to give up and goes back to fight with... Oh! Did you see that tag team? Sigvald and Aecold both hit Salostra, doing insane damage to her. Now she's starting to crumble as they start to chase her down. Once again, she can't get away. The Sirens are going to peel for her, but she is just going to crumble to death. And without her, the Vampire Coast have no caster, and they, of course, have no leadership. The damn Knights Errant fade away at the same time, causing a very bad shift in the balance of power. All of a sudden, the Vampire Coast are gone. Boom. Hayseed got the dub. Zero Hammer did fine. Marauders did okay. His Chaos Warrior Halberds didn't do that great. Skirmish Cav did fine. But that Really good value for Solastra. Handguns did quite well. Hand cannons did okay. Deck dropper bombers didn't do that much. Bloated corpses, mixed value across the board, but none of them getting close to paying for themselves. And the Morgul's did literally nothing. I don't know if they died to army losses or if they died off screen, but I know at one point I saw them at full health still wandering around trying to find a fight. Whew. Okay. So we got that done. My voice is running out of gas, and I don't want to spoil too much. But there's supposed to be a second stream today, so I don't want to fully die off here. Glorious Dust Bunny Armada versus Nardu, Slaanesh and Vampire Coast. We've gotten a lot of Vampire Coast, but I just want to cast Nakari. That's all I'm here for. I just want to cast Nakari. I don't care who it's against. I'm just gonna cast it. Alrighty, same map. One of the factions is the same. For the Forces of Slaanesh, we have Fiends and Hellstriders with the Hell Scourges, 4 Furies, Nakari, with only Pavane of Slaanesh as its spell. Willing Prey and Witstealer Sword are just abilities. Frontline of Devoted Marauders, Occultist with the Demonette Summon, and Torment Blade. On the other side, for the Vampire Coast, frontline of Pole Arms, secondary line of Bombers and Hand Cannons, Handguns in the back, and then Animated Hulks and Crab Mobs as a very final line. Count Noctilus is standing around with his summon, Invocation Heck, then his summoning item, and Wraithstorm. Oh boy. Crack my back. Slaanesh comes into range of the guns, and the wall of flying lead erupts on them. Even with bronze shields, they're still going to take a lot of damage here. And now the hand cannons focus on the Chaos Furies, which is much more their cup of tea. Their spread shots are very good against flying units, but it looks like they were too late. They had to reload while the Chaos Furies flow directly over them, so that's unfortunate for those guys. Now they're going to turn. They should get a brutal shot onto these guys' back. Yep. Lighten them up. This other hand cannon needs to turn around and shoot at the Furies on their way in this time, not when they're above them, but it looks like they are unfortunately using their shots on Marauders. Nakari's trying to come in. Hand cannons try and shoot. Oh! Half health off Nakari in one volley. 1,000 value for the hand cannons is really brutal. But a hero of the Fiends, ready to get their revenge. And the balance of power is heavily against Slaanesh. I don't know if it should be that disfavored, as the Fiends are getting some good damage in. Nakari runs away because hand guns are poking at his back, and the cannons are trying to shoot him as he runs away. He really needs to get next to someone that's dying so that he can get that big old juicy heal that he gets whenever something dies near him. But he needs to die. It needs to not be crumbling, but actually straight up die. Fiends are still fighting up here, really trying to finish off this handgun mob so that Nakari can get the heal. There is the death, and there is the heal Nakari so desperately needed. And that big, expensive Lord getting a lot of healing is going to be quite crucial to Slaanesh's balance of power this game. I guess it's not as big of a heal as I remembered. Oh, we just popped Witstealer Sword. There's Harvesters of Souls. For some reason, it didn't proc on that other guy. So now he's getting his heal. Wraithstorm damages the Fiends quite a lot, however. Balance of power is still quite against Slaanesh. And Slaanesh's front line is taking forever to get through the Vampire Coast. Demonette Summon in the middle of a big old blob of troops will be really good. Demonettes just need to take a fight with anybody. Their armor piercing is good versus crabs. Their high weapon stats are good versus handgun mobs, obviously. So, yeah, it's going okay. I still honestly don't think Slaanesh is out of this, but the balance of power might cut them off before they're actually done. As Nakari's getting good damage out on these animated hulks, starting to drain them down, trying to get another heal proc out. His heal's not on cooldown. I don't know if it even has a cooldown, but if it does, it's short. Noctilus summons another pistol mob. That's probably not helping Slaanesh, is that there's a bunch of summons coming and going that are keeping the balance of power nice and high. Demonette's going absolutely nuts in the backfield for a summon. They've already gotten 150 value, and they're still going for at least 19 more seconds. Devoted Marauders run up, try and get some stuff done. Cultist Slaanesh doing some decent damage out here. And Nakari gets another Harvesters of Souls heal. Healing backups, heal cap is in sight from all the poke he's taken. And right now he's trying to force path forward, but something is getting in his way. He's having a bad time. His heal is off cooldown now. He almost got another heal off that guy dying next to him. There he goes. He gets another heal off that one. Yep. So Nakari is still healing up to try and carry this game. Elsewhere, I mean, zombies are fading slowly in the face of Marauders. Fiends are still trying to clean up the backline. That's a summon, so it's fake. That's a summon, so it's fake. Noctis, how are you doing on summons? 1 Moondial left, 2 uses of the Drowned Dead left. Got it. Nakari's heal is off cooldown again, so if anything dies near him now, he'll get that heal. Something died behind him, but it was either out of range. Well, I know he was still on cooldown, but it also might have been out of range. He was doing decent fighting that gunnery mob, but he wants to run away because he realizes this hand cannon is getting some good poke on him, while another Wraithstorm hits the Fiends, doing a lot of damage to them. And another pistol mob is out to just poke Nakari. 15 armor, no missile resistance, just a bit of physical resistance. And that makes the pistol mobs rather potent in this matchup. Nakari's running around, ducking, diving, and juking as best he can as a handgun mob gets Fascination rampaged into the Fiends. But Nakari's not nearby that dying unit to get the heal, so he does have to fall back. Balance Power is turning into Slaanesh's worst enemy, even though, again, I still honestly don't think this is that bad for Slaanesh. They're down, don't get me wrong, they're down, but it's not that bad. It's just all these summons are keeping the Balance of Power of the coast so high. Noctilus is full HP, but Nakari can, like, legit kill him in 2 shots. And Nakari is just trying to lurk around here for the heal, trying to get the heal on this expensive unit to keep the Balance of Power in the realm of possibility. There's the big heal for Nakari. Fiends charging in. I guess, oh, fuck, that's Lamprey's Revenge. Never mind. Slaanesh is doomed. I didn't realize that was Lamprey's Revenge. My bad. Because, like, if you look around, why I keep saying everything's fine, that's a summon, that's a summon. If you take out those 2 full health fucking summons, dead, 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 Noctilus, which Nakari can body, and an almost dead animated Hulk, I just, like, my brain wasn't processing this is the Lamprey's Revenge, full HP, middle of the army. So yeah, Slaanesh is doomed, but without summons, this wouldn't look nearly as bad. There is army losses. And the coast will get a dub. Dust Bunny Nakari did okay, but nowhere near his gigantic price point. Marauders got kind of clowned on. Furies didn't have a good go of it. Fiends did okay. For Nardu, Noctilus, not a ton of value, even with his Wraithstorms, but obviously his summons were great. Hand cannons, one of them got a juicy volley on Nakari. Handgun mobs, one was shooting at Nakari. And then the crabs really helped out a lot. Since it's America's birthday tomorrow, can you keep casting more battles? Tomorrow I have a convention I'm going to try and sell board games to other nerds like myself. Okay. I'm gonna pass on that one. Shiroyuki's a fucking badass, but I'm just completely out of gas. I do want to cast that. That looks so fun. God damn it. How can you not cast that? That one's much more serious. That's also fucking badass. So I'm gonna have to skip the Glorious Hayseed and Marcus battle. And unfortunately, I think I know how this one goes. I'm betting Karanak just hunts down Ikit Claw, and there's not enough here to defend it. So I will skip that one in the favor of one that's a little more reasonable. Because I think that's a really good Skaven build, and I want to see how it does versus this Tomb Kings. But I believe that the Skaven will probably win that. And then we have 2 more silly ones. 3 games left. I can manage that. Let's do some Skaven Tomb Kings. Nolan, Son of Cain, I like this build a lot. This is pretty good. Skrulk is quite good against undead factions and demonic factions. And then solid frontline, Plague Monks will clean down a lot of stuff. 4 Gutter Runners are very strong. Rat Ogres and Triads, and then Warp Lightning Cannon. It's good. For Angel, solid Tomb Kings build. The only thing I don't really like is the Tomb Guard Halberds. I don't really know what they'll do versus the Skaven. The rest of this is fine. Kemrian War Sphinxes getting buffs is huge for Tomb King's chances against the Skaven. High impact damage, armor piercing, terror causing, highly mobile cat. Good. Now that it's gotten buffs. So for the Skaven, I mean, we covered their build on the way in, but we have Gutter Runners and Triads in the Vanguard, and then Lord Skrulk with some Plague Monks, Warp Lightning Cannon, and a bunch of Rat Ogres. Very straightforward stuff. On the side of the Tomb Kings, we have some Carrion, a big old Kemrian Cat, Nehekar Warriors, Skeleton Warriors, Tomb Guard with Halberds, a couple Skeleton Archers, 2 Shop to Great Bows regular, and then Arc in the Black with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. Where's the convention at? Oh, it's up in Minneapolis, near I live. I am selling board games at a board game convention. Skeleton Spearmen not moving up anymore as these 2 Ushapti and the 2 Archers try and outshoot the Skaven. That'll be a tough ask, but... Oh, I suppose the Ushapti are in range of the Warp Lightning Cannon. I didn't realize they got into range already. So they've already taken the Warp Lightning Cannon down to 1 model. And it's going to get knocked out. Rat Ogres and Eshin Triads trying to fight with the Kemrian War Sphinx and Arkan, though Arkan throws a summon on top of the Triads. Oh, the War Sphinx does take a lot of damage from the Rat Ogres. Damn, he is losing that. Gutter Runner's going to fall back away from Arkan, but Arkan doesn't want this. Liber Bubonicus plus the Gunner Runner shooting him in the face is going to do a lot of damage. Yeah, he might have fucked up in this one, Chief. Rat Ogres and Spears all surround him. Everything's going very well over there. And a Rod of Corruption out from Skrulk at a very odd time. Didn't love the timing on that because he wasn't really near anybody. Hi, Freaka. Leonor, most people know where I live. So nice to see more monsters since last patch. Yeah, a lot of the monsters got some really good buffs. Arkan throws out a Fate of Buna onto Gutter Runners, just to desperately try and get out of here while he's down to half HP, still surrounded by Rat Ogres, still getting poked by these other Gutter Runners. And Skrulk is even in here. I love how most of the Tomb King's army hasn't participated in the battle at all. Most of the Skaven army hasn't either. It's just been this micro battle that's getting everything done. One of the Carrion is about to fade away. Arkan is to retreat past the Skaven line, so he's running around behind the Skaven to try and get to safety. And Carrion attempt to fight Gutter Runners, but Gutter Runners are very good against Carrion. They can throw at them, and even if the Carrion get into battle, the Gutter Runners should win it. So let's see. Meanwhile, the Skaven Skirmish Corps, their other flank, got around behind. They're now shooting at Skeleton Archers. They should definitely go into melee with them. They would body Skeleton Archers in melee, while their range takes a much longer time to get it done. And the Tomb King's front line will probably win against the Skaven one, just because of how much more they brought than the Skaven did. But Plague Monks will trade up on their way out. They're mulching through Skeleton Spears, fighting back against Nehekar Warriors too. Arkan's surrounded by Rat Ogres once again. Wolf, just in a Molder pile-up. And then if Arkan dies, that could be it for them. Skrulk has a Plague Monk summon out onto the Tomb Guard Halberds. That is beautiful. Since this guy does a lot of damage, you can just fight him quick on his way out the door, since, of course, summon is going to fade. Arkan starts to crumble. And that is the end of Arkan the Black. Gutter Runners and Eshin Triads taking out Skeleton Archers as the Ushapti summon comes out. Arkan is dead, and Eshin Triads find their way onto the Ushapti Great Bows. Things are getting disastrous for the Tomb Kings here. Another Carrion fades away. More Spears fade away. And Skrulk decides to help his Plague Monks deal with the Tomb Guard with Halberds. Rest in peace, Tomb Guard. Kemrian War Sphinx charges through the Gutter Runners in the back line. It is down to about 1/3 HP, but it does tear out off those guys while the Nehekar Warriors kill the Eshin Triads. Though the Ushapti Great Bows have taken so much damage, they're now both starting to crumble, and without Arkan, it'll be a lot harder for them to rally. They'll have to get to safety and stop taking damage for quite a while. In my defense, I was talking to multiple people in my Discord and just forgot about Arkan. Angel! Angel! Angel. Alright. Fair enough. Also, hi, Angel. Hope you're doing well. Kemrian War Sphinx gets a Liber Bubonicus. Doesn't really do that much damage. As he continues to try and peel the back line. Archers are still up and alive, shooting at Rat Ogres, which is a good target for them. And the Tomb King's front line is slowly winning, but with Skrulk here, that'll be a lot harder. Rod of Corruption out to finish off some Skeleton Spearmen, and I think that was a Carrion or something else over there. Took a lot of damage. Plague Monks back in it, chasing down Nehekar Warriors. That's probably GG. I mean, the Rat Ogres are here to make sure the Skeleton Archers stop doing anything fun. Khemrian War Sphinx getting attacked on all sides by big spooky rat ogres as they punch its shins. And that is GG. Skaven get a W. There's nothing left for the Tomb Kings to do. Yeah, there's army losses. Oh boy. Plague Monks did alright. Triads did alright. Gutter Runners did pretty well overall. Rat Ogres did fine. Warp Lightning Cannon got shut down super quickly by Angel's double Ushaptis. Khemrian War Sphinx provided a lot of terror and spookiness. Frontline held for a while. Arkin just getting sniped out was tough. It was brutal. You hate to see it. On the other side, we have this one that's probably really fast, and then we have a High Elf Dark Elf matchup. And then we will raid Tactical Lich with you fine souls, because he is casting a Conquest Faction War type tournament. So we should go say hi to him. I'm crashing really hard. No. Yashkov versus the Glorious Dustbending Armada. Khorne versus the Demons of Chaos. For Khorne, Chaos Furies, Flesh Hounds, including the Hounds of the Blood Hunt, Chaos Warhounds, Chaos Warriors, Bloodletters, Skull Crushers, Occultist with his Summon, and Valkia. On the other side, for the Demons of Chaos, we have an Iridescent Horror of Metal with just Final Transmutation. We have a Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, also Chaos Furies of Khorne, the Sour Guts, Bloodletters, Exalted Demonettes, and Red Olger, Prince of Slaughter. FFA to end the tourney? Never. Never! Valkia is trying to snipe out the Burning Chariot that's already used a third of its ammunition in the blink of an eye. She's having a tough go of it. Red Olger is coming over to see what's the dealio. Jumps in onto Valkia. Misses his first attempt at a swing. And the Demons of Chaos are starting to own the skies. They're Chaos Furies of Khorne coming out on top of the other Chaos Furies of Khorne. Meanwhile, on the ground, Khorne is doing very well. The Demonettes and Bloodletters of the Demons of Chaos are having a very, very bad time. The Sour Guts even took some beast damage while fighting Chaos Warhounds. So the air fight goes to the Demons of Chaos, the ground fight to Khorne. Valkia decides to land to get away from a bad situation. Red Olger is going to follow her down as Skull Crushers continue to fight with these Chaos Furies on the ground. Chaos Warriors with dual weapons going to move up and get some additional damage done as Bloodletters all fade away, leaving just Furies to fight Chaos Warriors, and that is not a winning fight for Furies. Chariot of Tzeentch has used all of its ammunition for an impressive 700 value, considering it cost 1,700. I think that's pretty bad. We require you to suffer more. It's our favorite hobby. I don't like suffering more. Khorne still churning along through the ground fight. Has gotten about 500 kills. Let's see what they use their powers for as the Skull Crushers and Valkia team up on Red Olger while he's on the ground. Iridescent Horror of Metal is firing in occasionally with his little pop gun thing that doesn't really do that much damage. Yeah, the demons are just about out of troops. We have 2 Furies left that are both about to die, Sour Guts that are about to die, and these Bloodletters are literally dying right now. Red Olger charges through the Cultist. Cultist still has his summon. Looks like he's going to hold on to it, thinks he doesn't need it to kill off the Sour Guts, wants it for like a hyper late game scenario, but Red Olger might not let that happen as he's just plowing through both Valkia and the Cultist right now. Furies fade away. Spears Sleipnir through the Sour Guts to try and finish them off. Sour Guts back in. Not Sour Guts. Skull Crushers back in. Try and get some good damage onto Red Olger. Red Olger affected by the Horn of Khorne, even though he's a Demon of Chaos. He happened to get the Horn of Khorne. And it's not going great. Valkia is still trying to fight back against Red Olger, getting a bit of damage down. Skull Crusher is going to back off and get their charge bonus refreshed, it looks like. Khorne has to rally their infantry and get some use out of them. While Red Olger gets really low, he does get another shot onto the Cultist. More Furies join the fight against Valkia to help out the Burning Chariot with no ammo as it charges down. And the Cultist, fearing for his life throws out a Bloodletter of Khorne. And now there's no reason for actual Khorne to use the Sword of Khorne, which makes me sad because it is my favorite army ability, but there's no reason to. Demons are down to just single entities pretty much, so why bother? Based Burning Chariot. I mean, it's been trying, but it ran out of ammo real fast. It's only at 800 value. Beautiful Final Transmutation on the entire Khorne army, pretty much. Just not that Chaos Warrior with dual weapons. But that's about it. Red Ulger going to try and charge back in, leaving the Sour Guts and the Burning Chariot to fight in his stead. Charges back in onto Valkia to refresh his charge bonus, but he misses the attack, instead just getting a lot of value out onto the Bloodletters. He is now completely surrounded. Is there anything this Iridescent Horror can do? Are there any army abilities for the Demons of Chaos? Does not look like it, as Red Ulger takes too much damage. Army losses will take the Demons of Chaos out, and Khorne wins again. Up! Up! I bumped the mic. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Oh boy! Oh. Yashkaf with a good dub. Skull Crushers actually went above and beyond their pay grade, which is new for them. For Dust Bunny, not a lot of value to be found. Sour Guts did well. Casters of Khorne did well, but otherwise kind of middling value around. Last game before we send you to Tactical Lich. It is Dark Elves, High Elves, a Lethanar Kite with Shadow Warriors versus Power Chan's Helebron. Boy, inject some blood. Some warps down to the bloodstream. Now! Can't make me. Hey, Frodo Cliff, you are late. You are late. For the Dark Elves, 2 Dark Rider Peter Crossbows already getting lit up by Shadow Warriors. Cyan Red Ruin, 2 Black Arc Corsair with handbows, 2 Black Arc Corsairs regular, and then Dread Spears, Helebroni, Coldwood Knights, Crone Helebron, and Sorcerers for Fire. On the other side, we have a Lethanar, 4 Shadow Warriors, a Mage of Beasts with Flock of Doom and Manticore, a Flamespire Phoenix, a Heralds of the Wind, a Lyran Reaver, ROR Archers, and then Rangers, Spearmen, Rangers, and more Lyran Reavers. It's already over, damn. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. It's not a crazy amount of time, but it's a good amount of time. Alright, Bloodrack Medusa, taking a bunch of damage. So are the Black Arc Corsairs. The Flamespire Phoenix is trying to get some flaming poops off, but doesn't seem to quite be getting the angles it needs for that. As the High Elf Kite in earnest, doing lots of damage. Flamespire Phoenix flying over these guys. There are the flamey poops. Flamey poop damage. Flamey poop damage. Going back over for these Black Arc Corsairs. No flamey poop damage. Coldwood Knights in the distance fighting a 3v1 of Lyran Reavers. That's still probably not a great trade for the Lyran Reavers because they got caught napping and they didn't want that, but shit happens. There are worse things in the world. These 2 Shadow Warriors are having a bad time as Coldwood Knights run them down, and all these infantry are trying to catch Coldwood Knights, but that's not really going to work. On the other side, these Shadow Warriors are doing just fine. They've already killed off an entire handbow. Cyan Red Ruin's not feeling too good, and an Eagle is summoned by the Beastcaster, dives in immediately. A Lethanar is trying to snipe out the Cyan Red Ruin. Looks like that's going very well. Doing good damage to those, while Flamespire Phoenix distracts some of these repeated crossbow cav from getting anything done. Aleth is now shooting at Crone Helebron instead of finishing his food with the Cyan Red Ruin. The Helebroni Dread Spears get the Gaze of Cain for more melee attack. They're getting shot by Shadow Warriors the entire time. Lethanar now refocuses his sights onto the Cyan Red Ruin and misses his first shot. How excellent. Spooky, scary eyes do a lot of damage. Alethanar pokes her back a little bit, though, and the Flamespire Phoenix is out here still trying to do something. Somewhere. Somehow. High Elf infantry is overall routing. Their balance of power lead is entirely from their healthy Shadow Warriors on this side, a couple light cavalry, Alethanar, healthy mage, healthy Flamespire Phoenix. The Dark Elves are actually doing better on the army front. Cold One Knights over here still have a bit of life left in them. Still have a lot of skirmish cav running around, still a lot of infantry of their own, and Khorne Hellebron is full HP. As, wow, okay, the Sorceress is taking the fight to Alethanar. Alethanar will definitely win that. You don't want this. Predictive Burning Head as the Shadow Warriors keep trying to run away. Puts the Burning Head slightly behind them, and now they can't run away. Do take a bit of damage. Oof. Khorne Hellebron catches up to Alethanar. She is on foot, but she is knifing his ass. Pops a whole bunch of rampage stuff onto herself. She has 1,000 weapon strength, 122 melee attack, and she just kills Alethanar from full HP to dead. Khorne Hellebron takes him out. Piercing Bolts of Burning is down, but the Shadow Warriors avoid it. Unlike their lord, the Shadow Warriors are a little more cheeky, a little more evasive, as Alethanar just face tanks Hellebron and fucking dies. 48-hour stream or nothing? I refuse. Flamespire Phoenix trying to hold its ground, but Hellebron is in here, and since she's winning in melee combat, she's getting Mortis Engine draws every so often, because I think her Mortis Engine only applies if she's winning in melee combat, yes. Yeah, because it affects units that are losing, not if she's winning, but you get the point. They were losing, they got drained. Eagle Summon is out, trying to harass some of the Dark Elves off the map. Looks like it's taking their Dark Rider Peter crossbows with them. Shadow Warriors are running out of ammunition. Heralds of the Wind running out of ammunition. And Flamespire Phoenix is very low. We'll see if it even gets its heal. Turns out Hellebron's pretty good in melee. Yeah, she's really good in melee if she gets to fight fucking Alethanar. Aleth's like fine in melee, but Hellebron's much better if she gets a fight. Alright. Great Eagle will fade away in time. Mage of Beast is just trying to chase off these repeater crossbows for now. The Flamespire Phoenix is doing its best to bomb Golden Knights into oblivion. Dives onto those Corsair Handbows, will knock them out of the fight pretty quickly, and Heralds of the Wind just going to run away. Shadow Warriors, no ammunition left. Still trying to run away because they're completely outnumbered, but there's only so far they can go. Thanks for the tourney. I'm kind of mad I landed 3-0. Well, I'll take care, man. Oh. Wait, how did 3-0 work? How would it not be 3-1? What happened? Miguel, what happened? Anyway. Thank you for the donation, sir. It's very appreciated. 3-1. There it is. Heralds of the Wind using their last volley here. Sign Red Ruin still around, still providing some pressure. Khorne Hellebron out there, full HP, still trying to run down the Mage of Beast. But Mage of Beast is on a horse, and Khorne Hellebron's not. She has 44 speed to 84. She ain't catching that. Heralds of the Wind getting chased down. No, Ogres Day? Actually, you're right. You're right. We haven't had any Ogres yet. Shadow Warriors about to die. Heralds of the Wind getting pretty close. And the Flamespire Phoenix and the Beastcaster are just running away. Times 2 speed for a little bit. Big damage. Routes those guys off with Terror. There's just a bit of Benny Hilling going on right now. Hellebron throws out a Gaze of Cain for a big old buff. Charges into the Mage of Beasts with her Sorceress of Fire, but Mage of Beasts is trying to get away. Kind of surprised the Sorceress of Fire is so much faster than the Mage of Beasts. 8 speed faster. Rangers are trying to find a fight in here. And the Beast Mage is still running away. There's literally no way the High Elves can win this. It's not about the the Fire Mage, but to what end? Can't kill all these infantry and Khorne Hellebron with an almost dead Phoenix and almost dead Beast Lady with no Eagle summons. She only has Flock of Doom. No Ogres or Greenskins today. Those are both true. The two single entities are just running around, which, if you care about rules and stuff, they need to be engaging, which they aren't. They're just spamming Flock of Doom and running away, so this is illegal, but I don't think it's gonna matter. But yes, you do have to engage. This is just spell kiting. So this is 100% a rule break, but we try to be more chill in new player tournaments and just inform them it's a rule break and leave it alone rather than, like, make a whole stink about it. But I don't think no matter how much they spam spells, it's going to matter. Like, the Dark Elves are just going to win this. This is why we have rules about engaging eventually. The caster just accidentally cast Flock of Doom in the middle of nowhere. This makes me wish for a Conquest tournament. This is why Conquest mode is good. Oh, hush. We had a ton of amazing games today, and then one person didn't read the rules and just walks around spell kiting only to lose. Is pretty whatever. It didn't change the outcome of the game. They still lost. They just ran around for a while. Siren Rune got really good value. Hellebron just sniped out a Leathenar, which is amazing. Leathenar actually did okay. So did his Beastcaster. Shadow Warriors did very well, but the High Elf frontline got massacred. Flamespire Phoenix didn't get much done either, fortunately. Look at these Spearmen. 0 value on one, 6 on another. Burning Head must have taken them out or something. Conquest is just quick battles for randoms. Yeah, Conquest is fun. And I would play it if I was doing quick battles, but in tournaments I prefer lane battles. Personally. So that is our new player tournament for the day. Before you run out and run away, we do have to go raid Tactical Lich. We have to. And why is it taking me so long to remember how to do that? Oh yeah, there it is. Customization, go all the way down to the bottom, redirect, search for videos, Tactical Lich. Okay. Save. And now if I hit end stream, which I am going to, that should take us all over to Tactical Lich. Go say hi. Even if you're not going to hang around, go say hi. And hey, if you want a Conquest tournament, I believe he is running a Conquest tournament right now. That's what we're rating, so. Go. Go! Yeah!